Get all my nose scratching out of the way.
True.
Dang. Oh, there's Brooks. What's that? Check, check, check 1 2, check 1 2. Check, check, check 1 2.
$45 seconds. $30 seconds.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ, Tuskegee, Auburn. Since 1995, Alabama's sports talk leader, Tiger Communications, proudly presents Sports Call. It's time to join our Sports Call crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Welcome, Auburn, into SEC Media Days 2026. This is Sports Call on a Monday, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. My name is Ryan Lavoie, the host of the program. Today, I'm joined by Tom Peavy and Jack Myrick. We've got a loaded show for you here on this Monday as we come to you live from Radio Row in Tampa, Florida. We are very excited and happy to be here as we've got, again, a great guest lineup this afternoon. Joining us live here in about 15 minutes, we're going to be joined by David Epps. He is the new CEO of the Peach Bowl, replacing Gary Stoken, who, of course, we had so much fun with over the years interviewing him. We, of course, will be catching up with, again, David about this Auburn and Baylor game and much more coming up in Atlanta. At 4:15 today, a pre-recorded interview with Mr. College Football himself, Tony Barnhart. At 5:05 today, Chris Doring of the SEC Network. He'll talk a little bit about that Auburn and Florida rivalry being renewed this year in Jordan-Hare Stadium. And at 5:30 today, towards the conclusion of the program, we will hear from Rich Clark, the CEO or the executive of the College Football Playoff. And so we have a loaded show here today. If you want to give us a phone call to join us on the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally or toll free 1-888-9-TIGER. Now, we'll try to squeeze you in when we can, again, through all these interviews, and with the live one coming up here in just a few minutes. Won't be able to until after that one. But, again, several interviews. We'll try to get to your phone calls today and give you the latest from day number one here in Tampa at SEC Media Days. Ryan, Tom, and Jack with you here this afternoon. Tom Peavy, good to see you, sir.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm good. Started making the trip down here on Saturday. Spent the night in Gainesville. Went and looked at their campus for a little bit, and hung out in enemy territory, and came on down to Tampa yesterday. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm always happy to be here at SEC Media Days. The first day is always kind of weird because we're still trying to kind of get our feel for where everything's at. Fortunately today, they gave us prime location. You come up the escalator and you walk in the door, and we're right here. It feels like normally they have us tucked away in a back corner somewhere like a creepy uncle that nobody wants to talk about. Now we're like prime up here in front of everybody. So, yeah, man, it's fun to be here. I'm looking forward to this entire week. Obviously, everything's already off to a great start with some of the interviews that we've done today. And I'm looking forward to a great day today and a great week all week here in Tampa.
Absolutely. Jack Myrick, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Happy to be here. First media days appearance for me, so definitely taking it all in. It's fun just because constantly I'm so bad with names in general. So I see all these people that I've seen from interviews and doing podcasts and television. So then in my head I'm like, I've seen this person. What? So then I'm more trying to figure out the affiliation of who they work with or so. But yeah, a lot of fun. As Tom said, we're in a nice location. Honestly, just as soon as you walk in, you can find us, you just see us. But yeah, it's been great so far.
And, of course, we want to thank our sponsors here as we get going today, making all this possible. This week is Miller Lite, United Auto Collision in Opelika, Auburn Repro Graphics, Fairway Auto Brokers, and Waldo's Chicken and Beer. And we are live also streaming this week. We are streaming on the SportsCall Auburn Facebook, but also on YouTube. And you can go to SportsCall Auburn on YouTube and see our smiling faces throughout this week. A big thanks to Jared Dillard, who is producing this and helping this become a reality for us here on the YouTube side of things, bringing all these cameras, bringing lights. We feel so official this week. And, again, this radio program getting a little bit of a visual component this week. And we hope to do more of that into the future also on non-Media Days weeks. But certainly this week we've got it up and running, so you can check that out, again, at SportsCall Auburn on Facebook for the visuals or SportsCall Auburn on YouTube. And you're going to hear us at different times throughout the week. But, again, we're constantly kind of working throughout each day. So, again, you won't see necessarily or hear from JJ today, but been doing a ton of stuff behind the scenes and editing. Same thing with Brooks Childress. You'll hear him on an interview or two pre-recorded, but doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So it's taking all of us here. Certainly appreciate everyone's work, and we're excited to be here. We're going to take, in just a minute, not just yet, but in just a minute, we'll take a quick first break because, again, we'll be joined by David Epps, the CEO of the Peach Bowl. But before we get there, guys, again, just being here in general, being in Tampa for the first time, we, of course, with day number one, as usual, hear from Greg Sankey to begin the day. We've seen several teams come through, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, and also, we've seen not too many headlines, but I know Commissioner Sankey asked earlier about everything going on with Congress and all the issues of the league. And, it's an interesting foray into his mindset. We hear stuff from the league over time, but you get everything from being asked about, again, what they're trying to pass in Congress to 9-game schedule to, transparency of officiating. I mean, all sorts of topics get on display all in 1 week here. Yeah,
well, and especially on day one, this is the kickoff to the football season. I mean, it is welcome to SEC football kickoff media days. And so this is the first chance for Sankey to get up there in front of a lot of media and talk about the things that have been going on the offseason. And there has been a lot of moving parts going on. So he had a lot to talk about, and obviously a lot of questions to field from the media. And so, yeah, that's part of it on that day one. He gets up there and, we actually officially kick this thing off. And we have kicked off. I guess we're so early in the process. Have we actually returned the kick, or are we still waiting for it to come down out of the air?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if till the ball's actually kicked, if we've actually kicked the ball off. I think we're just stretching and warming up.
Okay. Well, it's called the SEC football kickoff.
We're not in pads or anything yet. We're just
okay.
But, then we still got a whole month of August. So I feel like we're just warming up, stretching, and then in August will be like the pregame hype video.
All right.
And then they kick off the season. Because,
Fair enough.
Otherwise, it's like, okay, if this is the kickoff, then someone got injured because then for the next month we got a media timeout.
We have to wait.
We got all sorts of
That's
stuff.
a long media timeout.
That's a long media
Very long media timeout. But, yeah, with Sankey talking about the 9-game format kind of being brought into the SEC, speaking on that, kind of trying to say, hey, this is what we think is going to be able to push these teams, the narrative, how strong the SEC is, into the college football playoff. Obviously, he spoke on things differ. Obviously, selection committee is always going to have their different criterias of how things are going to be, and that's going to constantly change. We're in off-season content, so that's always going to be the off-season. It's trying to decide how can we decide the champion going forward. Is it adding more teams, or is it going to be just less teams in the playoffs? It's going to go back and forth constantly. But it was very interesting hearing him kind of go about that and speaking about his confidence in that 9-game format for the SEC compared to, I think, some other people's opinions on it, thinking that it's not going to work. It's more just going to kind of beat up on itself. But you have these different things where you'll have the 3 games, 3 opponents every year. But yeah, it's just going to be interesting just how things continue to change and move forward.
All right, let's go ahead and take our first time out of the program today. When we come back, David Epps, the CEO of the Peach Bowl, will join us. This is the Monday edition of Sports Call live from Radio Row, Tiger 95.9.
Timeout. Sports Call will be back after this quick break.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Tiger Rewards checking at Auburn University Credit Union gives you the tools to manage your credit, monitor for fraud, telehealth services, loan discounts, and more. Visit myaucu.org for more details. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Today, we continue to see high temperatures, low to mid-90s. Heat index values able to creep up around 100. We will see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon hours, but about 30% of the area overall seeing any of that rain. Lows will be in the low to mid-70s for Tuesday. Again, very similar to the last several days. A few spots will get wet, but not everywhere. Highs again, low to mid-90s, and lows overnight into the mid-70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
From the very beginning in 1907, Auburn Bank's mission has been to promote our community, see businesses flourish, and improve the livelihoods of local citizens. We have operated a simple and straightforward business model built on a foundation of sound business decisions and a caring response. Our local team stands ready to discuss your financial needs and goals. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC. Online at auburnbank.com.
When it's extremely hot or cold, your heating and cooling system has to work almost non-stop to keep you comfortable. To give your system a work break and save money, raise your thermostat to 78 degrees in the summer and lower it to 65 degrees in the winter. Your wallet and your system will thank you. Brought to you by Tallapoosa River Electric Cooperative.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong, you are fearless, you are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Now, back to the multi-time Abby Award-winning Sports Call.
Welcome back to Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Live from Radio Row in Tampa at SEC Media Days 2026. Ryan Lemoy, Tom Peavy, Jack Myrick, happy to be with you. We are now pleased to be joined by the CEO of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, David Epps, with us today. David, we certainly appreciate the time. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm great. It's great to see you guys, and really excited to be on air with you.
Absolutely, and of course, Auburn has very intimate ties this year with Atlanta and with what will be in the Aflac kickoff game. But David, I first wanted to start with your journey. This is our first time getting to chat with you as of course the CEO now, and your journey began as an interim with the company. Just tell us about your journey to becoming CEO today.
Well, it's hard to believe. In 1994, I started as an intern and selling tickets, of all things, which is how a lot of people in sports business start. And over the years, I've taken a little bite out of every job in our company, and I got to this point after 32 years. They decided they either needed to promote me or fire me, and I'm glad they made this decision. And, I'm thrilled to be on the job. This is an opportunity I've been waiting for many years.
And so, David, obviously, there's so many issues when it comes to these type of games now, and Auburn obviously participating in the Aflac kickoff game against Baylor. Originally a home game, but Auburn taking this to the neutral site in Atlanta. What were those conversations like? I know that obviously the beginning of the contract was the home and home, but Auburn's had good relationships with Atlanta and with the Peach Bowl, with Aflac, and that sort of thing. So talk me through just how this came to be.
Yeah, it was an interesting confluence of organizations in search of solutions. Honestly, I mean, we're always looking for the next big matchup to come to Atlanta. We obviously love to have teams and brands that mean something, not just to the city, but also to us. And obviously Auburn, like every school, is in a position now, and they were a year ago, where figuring out how to raise additional revenue and to be able to pay for NIL for players sort of above and beyond what they're already able to do through the rev share. I think our solutions converged, and the problem, we needed a game, they needed more revenue. We realized that we could take what we are going to traditionally pay to a school appearing in our game, and let's do some real NIL. By real NIL, let's, not that anybody circumvents the rules, but let's say there's a spirit of what NIL is supposed to be. And we realized we could really do real NIL by using Auburn student athletes to help us promote ticket sales, help us promote the Aflac game fan events, help us promote the game broadcast. And it helps us get a great game, it helps the student athletes, and then it helps Auburn. So that was the impetus for it. And we've spent the past year slowly but surely building the machine to do this. It's been a lot more complicated than I think any of us thought to do something on this scale, but we feel great about it because we do keep calling it real, legit NIL in support of the Aflac kickoff game.
How important is it to have a team like Auburn that's close enough to the Atlanta area as opposed to some of the other SEC schools? Obviously, Auburn just hour and a half drive down the road. Seems like it's easier and a lot better to get things going when you have a school that close, or can you work that out even if you have somebody that's not as close?
We could do it with any two teams, but I mean, let's be honest, Auburn is really just a suburb of Atlanta, right? I mean, sometimes it feels that close. Obviously, I'm kidding, but it's geography is really important,
right?
And when you look at the teams that we most often attract and who like to come play in our game, you can draw the circle. You can go, you could dip into Mississippi. You could even maybe dip to LSU, but, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, Louisville, maybe North Carolina, South Carolina. So it's, you look at it, and being able to drive is a huge part of it, and especially Auburn. Other than Athens, nobody's closer.
I recall a couple of years ago we were having chats with Gary Stokin, and there was some concern with all the change going on in college athletics that where was the place for the neutral site kickoff games, and it felt like it was becoming maybe an increasing challenge. Now that there can be the NIL component, has the confidence returned that these games are always going to be able to be a part of the fabric of beginning a season and being able to get quality matchups and that sort of thing?
It's a great question and something I worry about every day, because let's call them the headwinds that Gary has talked about for several years, those don't go away, and they're not entirely mitigated by being able to do an NIL deal like this, because the real factors, when you look at the conferences going to 9 conference games, that's huge. Anybody who has an out-of-conference rival, these teams end up with 10 P4 games. And games 11 and 12, coaches want to be an FCS and a G6. And so what you end up with is decreased inventory. You also have the added pressure of coaches not being exactly sure what the college football playoff values. At the end of the year, we're going to talk about, hey, did this team, last year, Texas. In December, Texas is a 9-win team. If they had not gone and played Ohio State in week 1 and had played an easy win, P4, they're 10-2. People probably aren't talking about whether they should make the playoff or not. So coaches right now, I think, read the handwriting to say number of wins is more important than quality wins. So those two factors, not to mention the fact that schools are continuing to make investments in their on-campus experience, which they should. You look at Tennessee's building a business district. Florida's doing it. Everybody's building, and that's because they want the fans to come home, enjoy themselves. Meanwhile, it keeps all the revenue inside that school ecosystem, which is what the athletic directors really need.
So as we look towards, again, this Aflac kickoff game, want to talk about the partnerships you've developed with Aflac over the last couple of years. Obviously, Chick-fil-A has been a huge part of the Peach Bowl, but tell me a little bit about Aflac and about the direction that they've kind of played here in creating this kickoff game experience.
The Aflac is the absolute best, and they're another one. They're just right down the road from you guys in Auburn, and the great thing about Aflac is that we sort of share the same heart for using college football to do good in our communities. And September being Childhood Cancer Awareness Month works out really well for our Aflac kickoff game, because we use that, we call it our kickoff for a cause. And the cause is promoting childhood cancer awareness and treatment. And so we're going to use that. We'll even utilize some of the player NIL activities to promote the kickoff for a cause, just because we want to elevate awareness of that. And it does make it unique. A lot of people talk about college football and NIL and transfer portal and forget that there can be some really great stories coming out of this game that we love. And we try to make sure we don't forget that. And, if we do really well, then we can do good.
Talking to David Epps today, the CEO of the Peach Bowl. So, again, you have the Peach Bowl element at the end of the season. Obviously, it was important to make it a part of the playoff, and we talked to Rich Clark just an hour or two ago, and he certainly has talked about what expansion looks like and that sort of thing. But it seems like these bowls still have very important places in the playoff. What does it mean to you to continue to be a part of the playoff, and just one of the most storied bowl games that there is, continuing to have its place in the postseason at a time where other bowl games not entirely waning in importance, but some market it that way?
Yeah, it is absolutely a privilege and something that we do not take for granted, because there are only 6 of us who earned our way into being a college football playoff bowl. And, we unabashedly in Atlanta say that we're the capital of college football. And I think to us that makes Atlanta an important part of whatever the college football postseason should be. So what we're going to do is, first we have to serve the city of Atlanta, because that's what we're here for. But our real jobs are to serve the CFP and the conference commissioners the coaches, the athletic directors, the fans, and the media. That's who we need to work for to make sure that over the next 6 years we make all of you guys' jobs easier. You guys as media. It needs to be quick, easy, fun, the best experience you've had. The coaches and the players, this used to be a reward for players. It's a business trip now. So when you come to our game, we want to make it as easy as it could possibly be for you to come in, take care of business, and move on. And as long as we do that, and that's what we're focused on, that's our North Star, is to make sure we serve college football and serve the good of college football. If we do that, we think that 5 or 6 years from now, no matter what the evolution of the college postseason looks like, we want to have made a pretty good argument that it can't go on without including Atlanta and the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
And so I guess my next question is, David, that when you have a college football playoff calendar that seems like it's ever evolving, and it could go up to 16 teams, it could go up to 24, it could stay at 12 for a number of more years. We're also looking at the calendar when these bowl games take place. Being January 1 for a long time meant a lot. It meant your New Year's Day bowl. What kind of conversations been had about the value of games in or around January 1 for the particular round? I guess that's usually around the quarterfinal round right now. And just how much of a difference it makes if it's the 30th, the 31st, or the 1st. I don't know if you have strong opinion on that or strong information, but just where does the Peach Bowl and where does that kind of fall into the calendar there?
You know, we built our brand on New Year's Eve for years and years. Pre-CFP, we were the New Year's Eve ACC versus SEC Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And that was sort of our identity. So we've always known that meant something. But traditionally, we weren't the New Year's Day bowl game. So we don't have quite the attachment to that. I think that the Rose and the Sugar and some of the other CFP bowls may have. The key for us, I mean, New Year's works perfectly for all these cities because most of these cities are shut down. And there's a hole in the social and the athletic and the academic calendar that time of year. The wrinkle is when you push it a week later, which is how we are now, where semifinals could be January 8th or 9th. And that presents some new challenges because people are back to work, school's back in class, families are back in school. So you have things like that to work around, but it's incumbent upon everybody who wants to be a part of the success of college football to be flexible. We tell our people, don't worry about the things that you can't control. And we can't control what the conference commissioners come up with. Whatever they come up with, we in Atlanta are going to make it work. However hard it is, that's okay. That's what we're here for, to serve the good of college football.
He is the CEO of the Peach Bowl, David Epps, joining us today. David, we certainly appreciate the time. All the best. We're excited for the Athletic kickoff game. Of course, at the end of the season, working towards the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and much more. David, we certainly appreciate the time with you today.
My pleasure. War Eagle, guys.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
That is David Epps, the new CEO of the Peach Bowl, joining us today on SportsCall. We're going to take our next time out of the program. We are live, Radio Row. It's SEC Media Days 2026 here on Tiger 95.9.
That was awesome, guys.
Sports Call has been on the air since 1995.
Check out Auburn University Credit Union's 7-month CD special. Get 4.15% APR back on a regular or IRA share certificate or 4.25% back on a 7-month jumbo and IRA share certificate. Visit myaucu.org or one of our local branches to learn more. Annual percentage rate, $2,500 minimum deposit for regular share certificates, $500 minimum deposit for IRA share certificates. Jumbo rate applies to $100,000 plus deposits. Terms and conditions apply. Rates subject to change. Visit myaucu.org/rates for current information.
Auburn, why stress about dinner tonight? Just cruise down South College Street and roll through the drive-thru at Waldo's Chicken and Beer. Grab the Feed the Flock meal. Yeah, we're talking 12 crispy tenders, warm cheesy biscuits, fresh coleslaw, and not one, but 2 delicious sides. Mac and cheese, collards, wedges, you pick your groove. And don't forget, 6 sauces to mix, match, and dunk your way to flavor heaven. Skip the cooking, feed the whole crew, and keep your night smooth. Waldo's Chicken and Beer, South College Street in Auburn. Drive through and dig in.
Hey, slow it down for a second and make it a Stella moment. From catching up with friends to kicking back after a long day, every great night starts with the perfect pour. Because with Stella Artois, craftsmanship meets ritual, and the little details make every sip worth savoring. Take your time, pour it right, and raise a glass to the moment. Stella Artois, perfection served.
Before we get to football season, we have to get through talking season, and SportsCall Auburn has you covered. SportsCall will be broadcasting live from SEC Media Days 2026 in Tampa, Florida, July 20th through 24th, with exclusive interviews featuring the biggest names in SEC football that you won't hear anywhere else. Listen to SportsCall live at SEC Media Days all week from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Tiger 95.9, online at thetiger.fm, and on the free Tiger Communications app. SportsCall live from SEC Media Days is brought to you by our friends at Auburn Repro Graphics, Waldo's Chicken and Beer, United Auto Collision, Fairway Auto Brokers, Miller Lite, and Jeffco Trent Funeral Home.
Hi, this is Melinda from Life South. Did you know that Life South is your community blood center? Did you know that when you donate with Life South, your donation stays right here at home? Every 2 to 3 seconds, someone in the U.S. needs blood. You can make a difference this year and do something amazing. You could save the life of a friend, a family member, or even a coworker. To find out more about how you can host a blood drive or donate with Life South, visit our website, www.lifesouth.org. Do something amazing. Donate with Life South Community Blood Centers today.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face, never ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, no, it can happen. Cars get hot fast and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA, Children's of Alabama, and the ABA.
Looking for your next great find? Go exploring at Mission Thrift. Every day brings something new, from books and name brand clothing to furniture, home decor, and so much more. You never know what treasures you'll uncover, and the best part, every purchase supports a great cause. Find us at 2052 East University Drive in Auburn, right behind Zaxby's. Lifesavers Mission Thrift. Discover more, spend less.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
Now back to Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Welcome back. This is the Monday edition of Sports Call, live on Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Brian Lavoie, Tom Peavy, Jack Myrick with you here today. Our thanks to David Epps, the CEO of the Peach Bowl, for joining us. Obviously, they deal with the Peach Bowl at the end of the season, but also the Aflac kickoff game at the beginning of the year. And it's good to hear from David a little bit about the impact it's going to have on Auburn. Of course, Auburn and Baylor will be their kickoff game, and we look so much forward to that. In just under 50 days now, I believe. I think we're down to 47 days, something like that. So we're getting closer and closer. But, again, we're live from SEC Media Days in Tampa, where the excitement is building for another incredible football season, and our coverage is brought to you by Miller Lite, brewed for more taste with only 96 calories. Whether you're watching every snap at home or cheering with friends, Make it a Miller Lite. Miller Lite. Taste greatness. Please enjoy responsibly. All right, again, as mentioned, we are in Tampa here at the Marriott on Water Street. You look out. We can't quite have the water view. It's okay. We're in a great location in the hotel. But for some radio stations, some tables, they have the water view. That would be pretty nice, though. I won't lie. I'd be a little captivated. You would be like, hey, Ryan, we're back on air. We're back.
Well, now,
just kind of staring at the water.
Well, now we were captivated earlier by a storm that came through right before we went on air. They have had the tropical system that formed off the coast of Tampa that's kind of moving north. We're catching every now and then. We'll catch a couple bands of it, and I guess one of them came across here, and we looked out the window, and the palm trees were sideways, and you couldn't even hardly see the buildings across the street. It was raining so hard. So, like full-on tropical storm.
It might rain again here in a few minutes.
I would have to snap y'all back into reality as y'all turn around and just watch the storm the entire time we had the backdrop.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. But, I'm happy to be here. Yeah, this is our, is it fourth different town or fifth different town? Because I know we did Birmingham. Y'all did Birmingham. We've done Atlanta.
Yep,
Dallas, Nashville, and now Tampa. So fifth different place. First time, obviously, we've been to Tampa. And so,
right. Did you see that it's already been announced for next year?
I did not.
Would you like to take a guess?
Yeah, would you like to guess?
Atlanta.
Close.
Nashville again?
Yes.
Oh, going back to Nashville. Okay.
And back to the week it normally is. I think it's July 12th through 15th next year in Nashville.
So back to Nashville.
That was like one of the first things out of Commissioner Sankey's mouth. That was
going back to Nashville.
Oh, by the way, before I get into the meat and potatoes, you guys will be showing up in Nashville next year. All right, Congress. That's pretty much what he.
I'm surprised they haven't done one yet in New Orleans. I keep expecting that to happen. But, hey, either way, that's for a whole nother year. We're in Tampa today.
Yes,
We're in Tampa this week. There's a lot to do here in Tampa. You are very familiar, Ryan, with the Tampa area. Being a big Bucs fan, you come down here a lot.
Yep.
And but this is the first time I've been in Tampa since I was a little kid. And, that was a long time ago.
Sure.
It's been a long time ago since I was a little kid. So I'm trying to get my bearings of everything, and then, trying to figure out what I want to do in my time where I'm not here on the show or here, before the show helping out with stuff. So, everybody knows, Fat Boy likes to eat, and so I've already been scoping out all my food places that we've been looking at. So,
sure.
Man.
But they've been feeding us well too here,
and they feed you well here too. That's the thing. You can get fat and sassy here for free, and not even go out and spend the money. But I like to go out and check out the restaurant scenes.
Yeah, we do too. The snack was like lunch number 2 today, like Johnsonville sausage and boneless wings,
it's like a whole
tater tots.
Sonic spread.
Yeah, for sure. So I get that, but again, I want to do the Brazilian steakhouse thing this week. So that's going to cause some discipline necessary throughout the day because you can't be eating 2 meals and then try to go do the Brazilian steakhouse. All right, let's grab some phone calls here this hour. Again, going to be a little bit harder, especially in the 5 o'clock hour to get some phone calls. So let's go to the Sports Call phone line at 334-887-3401 locally or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. First up,
Matt from Casita.
Matt from Casita. Matt for Auburn joins us. Matt, how are you doing today?
What's up, Ryan?
What's up, buddy?
What's up, Tom? My cousin's friend, the cool man, Tom.
What's going on?
Yay!
Hey, Matt.
Up? What's up? Hey, Tom, do you ever get the message?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you ever get a text message? What my question?
Oh, I don't think I did.
Connor said he texted you.
We got it pulled up here for him.
Playing in the game on September the 10th.
September the 5th.
September 5th, yeah.
5th.
Because Mary's during the Baylor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, Baylor week. That's one of those things. Just going to try to see what we can do. It's tough that early in the morning on a Saturday, but we will see what we can do.
Did you ever find out? Did you ever ask anyone other staff players play?
Yeah, we've kind of been telling everybody about it and seeing what they might be able to do. Saturday's tough on a game day weekend when it's out of town.
Yeah. So hey, so what players have top for the SEC media for the Auburn? Has anyone of the players top the SEC media?
Yeah, again, Auburn goes tomorrow, so they've not talked yet, but it'll be Champ Anthony, Byron Brown, and Alex McPherson representing Auburn tomorrow.
Okay. I got a question for you guys. What do you think about the player we got for baseball, the right-hander pitcher on transfer portal?
I saw that last night. I think he had a 5-something ERA. I forget the school that he came from. But, again, you're adding depth at this point. Again, I think that even though they were disappointed to probably lose out Petrovic and Ryan Hetzler, I still think they have enough high-leverage guys. They're going to have to find a couple of guys that end up either being a pleasant surprise or just adding quality middling depth. Yeah, I mean, not a strong opinion on a guy that didn't throw a whole lot last year, but hopefully Auburn can develop him.
Okay. And, Jack, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Matt. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm having a pretty good day so far. It's hot.
It is indeed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna blame you or Tom. I'll blame Tom.
That's fair.
And so, but who's that in the background?
We just got a bunch of people in the background. Again, we got several tables around this, Matt.
Jack, I don't know if I asked you this before, but do you see Auburn probably winning like either 8 games, 9 games, 10 games this year with a schedule?
I do think their schedule is favorable to the Tigers. There's some matchups that have new defensive coordinators come in, new head coaches, true freshman quarterbacks. But I think the mark that you're going to be looking at for the Tigers is probably going to be 7 wins this season. That just seems to be, I think, the number I'm confident in going into the season, thinking that the Tigers can just win 7 games, make a bowl game, improve, and build off this year, because that's what this year is going to be at the end of the day. Just because you're bringing in a new head coach like Alex Golish, he's getting this system, and you have a lot of pieces from that system that coming along with him from South Florida. But at the end of the day, it's still going to take some time to really build this and become where it can be a program that can expect 9 wins each season.
Yeah. Do you think that do you think Auburn can beat Florida and beat at Ole Miss, at Mississippi State? DG Brothers probably win.
I think they will do better in the SEC this year. I think that just winning 1 game last year is not going to be what you'll see this year. I do like their chances against Florida at home. Ole Miss will be a little bit tough just because you have Trinidad Chambliss. You have Lacey in the backfield. So a lot of weapons there. It's just more of, do you think Pete Golding is going to be the guy there for the Rebels? And then for the rest of that slate, though, because you have Arkansas and Mississippi State, I think that's where the Tigers kind of finish off their season really well before they hit Sanford and Alabama, is that they can get wins against Arkansas at home and go on the road and beat Mississippi State.
Okay. And another question, I'll ask Tom this question. I like asking Tom. I like picking on Tom. Tom, the quarterback that used to play at Florida, he's at Baylor now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Auburn is really familiar with him when he was playing at Florida. Do you think that Auburn can probably beat Baylor with the former Florida quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't matter whether familiar or not familiar. I think Auburn just has a better team. Baylor's trying to figure some things out, mainly with their head coach, and I just think being close home, and I have a lot of confidence in Auburn with Byron Brown and all these guys from South Florida, and so I don't think Auburn's really too concerned about him. I think Auburn's just got the better team, and that's what they're going to try to go out there and prove.
Well, Alex, the coach for Auburn, the head coach, he knows about the former Florida quarterback, right?
He did play him at South Florida last year, so yes.
Okay. Okay. But Jack and Tom, do you guys don't know that they will beat Georgia or Alabama, right?
I personally don't. I don't think that Auburn's ready to take that step. But I mean, with this, brand new coach coming in, you got to take baby steps. I mean, you're not going to get it all in one big chunk. They need to try to get to the 7 or 8 win situation spot, get to a bowl game, have a good season, and build on that. I think you're talking a little too lofty if you're thinking Auburn is going to go into Georgia and beat them, and too lofty if you think Auburn is going to go into Alabama and beat them. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, Georgia is definitely, I think, the toughest of those two between Georgia and Alabama. Obviously, biggest rivals for the Auburn Tigers. Alabama, I could see it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I could see it more just saying happen just because the way things have gone at the end of last year and then this offseason a little bit. But I still think that is, as Tom said, it is year one. It's not something that you really should expect. You more be just hopeful that can be done, but it's a year one under Alex Golesh. We'll see how that goes this season.
I think there's a better chance that Alabama doesn't have a good season than Georgia not having a good season. Georgia's going to be a national championship
they're
contender.
Expected to be.
They're going to be up there at the top. Alabama, there's a lot of questions there. Alabama could be a team that's not very good, just depending on how things go. But I still just think that's a tough ask for Auburn in 1 year of a coach to go win on the road like that.
Well, what do you guys think about Auburn at Tennessee? What do you think about that game?
It's a tough game. It's tough anytime you go to Knoxville and try to play. That game, though, I think is the difference between 8 wins and 9 wins. If you kind of take care of business where you're supposed to, that's a game that could put you over the edge. But that's going to be really tough to go to Knoxville and win. But Tennessee, that's another team with a lot of question marks. We'll just have to see how good Auburn is or how bad Auburn is once you get to that point.
And it's going to be tough against Vandy this year, too.
It could be. They have the true freshman, Jared Curtis, coming in at quarterback. Right. I think that's the big piece that's going to decide if they're going to be good this year.
Right.
Because last year, Diego Pavia was that game changer for the Commodores and was able to make plays and be the guy that could be that superhero, type play for them that needs it to get that first down and make that. And so if they don't have that this year at quarterback, I think they have a good roster, better roster than Vandy usually does. But if they don't have that at quarterback, Vanderbilt, I don't think will be the same team that we saw last year.
Yeah. Well, that's all my question I have for right now. And when you guys get back to Auburn, I'll ask more questions. But Tom, I just want to say, Brandon wanted to know who all else is playing. I said that you always get back with them. So I can call them back. Do you want me to tell Randall anything? Or do you want to get in touch with them?
I'll get in touch with him, and we'll try to get everything figured out.
Okay. All right. Well, Warrior guys, you guys try to stay warm and watch out for the storm, Sean.
All right.
I appreciate it, Matt.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Matt from Casita, Matt for Auburn, joining us on the Sports Call phone line. I don't think we're going to have a problem staying warm.
It's hot outside.
Tampa. All right, let's grab another phone call. Got about 6 or 7 minutes left here in hour number 1. Next up on the Sports Call phone line,
Ward Dam Steve.
Retired Ward Dam Steve joins us. Steve, how are you doing today?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. And since Ryan, you do the weather forecast, are you on the Weather Channel Storm Chaser official list?
I am not.
He needs to be. He would be if he was able to.
Storm, and you mentioned it, Tom. We've got it coming our way, here in Fairhope.
Yeah.
Good news is I think it's going to not make landfall in the state of Alabama. At least that's what I saw the last update a few hours ago. It's kind of moving west enough, but it's flirting with it, so we're watching it.
But you'll get some rain out of it.
Yes, you will. Yeah.
All right, so Ryan, I'm holding you to that the forecast. Okay.
That's not official. I'm still not a meteorologist.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and call you right now and go ahead and do it.
Okay. All right. Landfall not in Alabama, but again, it will rain.
Right.
It will rain.
Yeah, it's gonna rain. That's for sure.
Okay. All right, guys. I know time is short. What did you make of the game yesterday? I thought it was just very competitive, and it was brutal competition. And I thought really the better team should have won and did win?
It felt that way. We all were unable to watch it in its entirety. We were having to
saw it in some spurts here and there.
We were having to set up and that sort of thing. But I mean, look,
You mean
Argentina.
those little light setup?
Argentina only had 2 shots. I think Spain had more than 20.
Spain dominated.
Yeah, Spain fully controlled
any
that
metric
game.
you looked at, Spain was the better side by a wide margin yesterday.
I was surprised it was only 1-0.
Yeah, it felt like the dam could have broken. It could have, but Argentina is, they're reigning World Cup champs and coming into that. So, they had a lot of mettle and resolve, but Spain finally broke through.
And speaking of the dam breaking, did any of you watch the punishment game, as the athletic website called it? 6-4. I said 6-4.
yeah.
Good God.
Yeah, the consolation prize.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
but a
called
lot
it
of
the punishment game.
a lot of people say that was one of the best games of the entire tournament. It really didn't matter.
Well, it sounded like my son watched most of it. He said nobody wanted to stop the other team.
Yeah, that was a crazy game for sure.
All right, so guys, I know we got tomorrow going on, so I've got really 5 quick questions, and I want to see if you think you might ask any of them. These come from Nathan King today from 247. The 5 questions are, number 1, he wants to ask Joe, is Auburn ready for its identity?
Okay.
All right, number 2 question, what did Goish learn most from his time in Tampa?
That's fair. It's important.
Number 3 question, can Byron Brown lead the way?
Very important. If he can, or if he cannot, they're not going to have a very good season.
Yeah.
So fair.
Number 4, where will Champ Anthony fit?
We could maybe ask him that.
We might have him on the show live
Yep.
or in person.
Yep.
Because he's played a lot of different positions, right, guys?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and dealing with 2 severe leg injuries that he suffered the last couple of years.
And finally, good question. This, I guess, maybe is more for you guys. Where will Auburn be picked this season, prognostication, by the media?
They will probably be picked in the, I would say, 10 to 12 range, if I had to guess.
That's what I'm thinking.
They will not be bottom 2 or 3, but I don't see them cracking the top half.
Okay. Now, what's the odds of this team this year becoming the Indiana team of last year?
Very low. I mean, again, that was still year number 2 for Indiana.
Yeah,
to
it's still
be technical. So.
probably better that year 1 where they kind of flashed up. That a lot of people thought it was a flash in the pan.
Yeah, kind of flirted with some things. Yeah.
But their transfers weren't exactly the kind of transfer recruits that we have gotten, are they? Are they that good, their transfers that they had last year?
I mean, SMU, I'm not SMU, JMU, where
James
Cincinnati came from. I mean, they were going undefeated pretty much that season. They almost did. I think I can't remember exactly their last record. I think they only finished with 2 losses that season or so. But they were a really strong team, and Cincinnati had 13 of those players follow him from JMU.
Okay, so bottom line, what I'm asking is, the quality of people that they had last year on their team that went undefeated, how do they match up to the quality of the players that Goish got?
Yeah, I mean, I would be careful with the equivalency, though, Steve, because even if we say Auburn has a little bit more, they're also having to play a lot more competition, in my opinion. I mean, again, you can bicker about who the best couple of teams are, and I have felt the Big Ten is better at the very top, and I think they proved that by winning the titles. But that doesn't mean I think Big Ten teams number 6, 7, 8, 9 are as difficult to play as the SEC 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's still a different road, a different challenge, different competition. And so, I mean, again, I think Auburn has you can make it very similar, but there's also the schedule challenge is real.
Okay, fair enough. And final question, guys. Tomorrow, who do you think you might be able to get on the air and talk with in terms of players and coaches?
Yeah, we're going to try to get as much as we can. We've been promised 1 student athlete so far with Auburn. That's how they're saying they're kind of going about it. But we certainly appreciate their help with everything. We're going to try to get as much as we can. We've got plenty of interviews lined up with some other guests and some other Auburn media. So we'll be working on it. We'll do our best. We'll promise you that.
Okay, and I know Miller Lite, again, is one of your sponsors to do they require a certain quota of drink that you have to drink during the radio broadcast show?
No. Fortunately, no. We will not be drinking alcohol on live radio.
I can probably tell if somebody's getting a little bit maybe not as sober as they need to be.
Nope. Yep. We're all clean here.
Okay, you guys are no fun then. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for taking your time with me. I'm through rambling. My time is up. Until next time, have a safe afternoon and evening, and go Miller Lite. War Eagle.
Well, War Eagle, Steve. That is retired War Dam Steve joining us on the Sports Call.
I'm drinking like the exact opposite of that. I'm drinking the core water, keeping myself hydrated here on the air.
That will do it for hour number 1 of the program. Much, much more ahead here in the next couple of hours. We're going to be joined by several more guests here, including coming up at 4:15. You don't want to miss it. It's a pre-recorded interview with Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, and much more conversation about Commissioner Sankey's comments, some of the teams going today, and much more. This is the Monday edition of Sports Call Live, Radio Row in Tampa, Tiger 95.9.
One hour of our show is in the books. We've got more to come. Stay tuned for another hour of Sports Call right after the break.
It's heating up at Suns Ford in Auburn with the hottest sale of the year. Now's the time to save big on a huge selection of new Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars. Whether you're looking for a rugged F-150, a family-friendly Explorer, or a fuel-efficient Escape, you'll find incredible deals waiting for you. Don't let these summer savings pass you by. Visit Suns Ford in Auburn today or shop online at sunsford.com and pick the Ford you've been wanting at a price you'll love. Suns Ford in Auburn, where the hottest deals of the year are happening now.
Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory is here for you when you need us. With locations in Lee, Chambers, and Tallapoosa counties, serving the people of East Alabama and West Georgia since 1900. A family-owned and operated business, skip the hassle of the big corporate mortuaries. Our kind, compassionate team members are standing by to assist your family in the hardest of times. An on-site crematory, private cemetery, and a choice of facilities makes Frederick Dean unique. Visit us at frederickdean.com.
At Mid-South Bank, we're your problem solver and financial advisor. Managing your money can be challenging. The good news is you don't have to go it alone. You have a friend in us. No matter what your financial status, we're here to help you do what's best for you. Come in today at 519 East Glen Avenue or visit bankmidsouth.com to find out what the friendliest, most helpful bank in town can do for you. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefit.
TK's Convenience Stores, your gotta-have headquarters. You know, those things you just gotta have, but don't have time to wait waste in one of those huge pack stores. Nope, at TK's we have your gotta-have items with no hassle, along with great customer service, high-quality items, and clean stores. So whether you need a six-pack of your favorite beverage, milk, gasoline, or some cash from the ATM, TK's has it just minutes from you. TK's convenience stores now with 17 locations to better serve you. Always there when you need us. Good friends, great conversations, and one perfectly poured glass. That's the kind of moment Stella Artois is made for. Tonight, slow things down and savor the ritual, the crisp taste, the perfect pour, and the little details that turn ordinary moments into something unforgettable. So go ahead, pour it right. Raise your glass and enjoy every sip. Stella Artois, perfection served. We all know Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn has you covered when it comes to car stereos, accessories, and expert installation. But did you know Jimmy's is also your go-to spot for ATV and UTV gear? They've got 32-inch sassies, 3,500, 4,500, and 6,000-pound winches, belts, lighting, whips, laser lights, side mirrors, bumpers, phone holders, and rear mirrors. So whether you're upgrading your ride, decking out your ATV or UTV, or adding audio to your boat, Jimmy's has the gear and the know-how to make it happen. Jimmy's Car Stereo in Auburn. If it rolls, rides, or floats, Jimmy's makes it sound better.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update, presented by Tidal Wave Auto Spa. Get clean car happy at any of the 250-plus Tidal Wave Auto Spa locations today.
Braves take Game 3 and take the series. I'm Barrett Salee, and this is your Braves Radio Network morning update.
Tidal Wave Auto Spa is the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves and your go-to car wash destination all season long. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com to find a location nearest you.
The Braves get the second half of the season started out on the right foot as they top the Texas Rangers 8-5 in Game 3 of the three-game set. They take the series from the AL West leading Rangers. It was a big day for Drake Baldwin. 5 for 5 with 2 home runs. He went 10 for 14 in the series, and Sunday was a 5-hit game. That's the first one for a Brave since Whit Merrifield in 2024, and the first one for a catcher in a Braves uniform since 2004 and Johnny Estrada. Austin Riley getting hot as well. He hit 2 home runs. He had 3 hits. He had 4 RBI. Austin heating up. Rangers in the rearview mirror. The Padres coming to town. JP Sears going for the Padres. He's 2-2, has a 5.03 ERA. Bryce Elder gets the ball for the Braves. He's 5-6, has a 4.12 ERA this season. For leadoff show at 6, first pitch at 7:15 from Truist Park. You can hear all of it on the Braves Radio Network.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Since 1995, Alabama's sports talk leader, Tiger Communications, proudly presents Sports Call. It's time to join our Sports Call crew as they discuss the latest headlines and happenings around Auburn and the entire sports world. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. We're taking phone calls all show long and want to talk about whatever you've got on your mind. And now, coming to you live from the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show, Sports Call.
Second hour of Sports Call beginning right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie, Jack Myrick, and Tom Peavy. We are live in Tampa, Florida. It is SEC Media Days 2026. And we are so proud to be here for another season covering SEC Media Days. Again, coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to hear from Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football, a little bit about Auburn, a little bit about the Dodd Trophy, a little bit about the book he's working on, 50 Years of Memories from the SEC. Again, 5 o'clock hour, we're going to have a couple of different guests. The top of the 5 o'clock hour, Chris Doering of the SEC Network. And at 5:30, don't want to miss it, our chat earlier today with Rich Clark, the executive president of the College Football Playoff. Of course, Steve in the last hour was joking about Miller Lite, one of our proud sponsors here for SEC Media Day coverage, but also coverage from Tampa brought to you by United Auto Collision in Opelika. From minor dents to major collision repairs, their experienced team is committed to getting your vehicle looking like new again. When accidents happen, trust the professionals at United Auto Collision. And also by Auburn Repro Graphics. Whether you need blueprints, banners, signs, business cards, or high-quality printing for your business, Auburn Repro Graphics deliver a professional result with hometown service. Think Auburn Repro Graphics for all of your printing needs. All right, before we get to Mr. College Football Tony Barnhart, let's go back to the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Next up today,
Jeff from Columbus.
Jeff joins us. Jeff, how are you doing this afternoon?
I am doing great, guys. As a matter of fact, I'm just so excited. It's finally getting to that time of year. You're down there in, Thunder Bay, right? You're going to get it every day.
Yep.
But, man, yes, Steve's on the phone. We got Matt on the phone. Heck yeah, it's that time of year. Tell me if you've heard this. Auburn picked. They got them a brand new shiny coach. They got him an all-star, probably greatest quarterback transfer in the portal. Okay, all right, yep. Hadn't been to a dang bowl game here recently, but when you did, you win 7 games and you get blown out of the dang bowl game. Y'all depressed all summer, but golly, media days around, here we go. I can see us going all the way. You can. I can see him going all the way. I love it. That's why I like to listen.
I don't think anyone has said that a single time, so I don't know what show you're listening to.
Steve's right there. I'm not talking about everybody, but there's a few you can count on every year to get them back up there.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
listen,
yes,
Jeff, for the last couple of times it went very poorly, but you joke, and I don't believe this will happen. But if we're going to joke, I'm going to joke with you that coming off a really terrible 2012 when they had missed the bowl game, they got a new coach and they got a transfer quarterback, and then they went to the national championship game. So I can make it work for my advantage too.
Yep. I got you. It's been 14 years, but that's okay. I've forgotten about that. I'm sorry. It was. I remember all the other stuff now. I can tell you something happened 16 years ago. I'm a little fuzzy about 14 years ago, but no. But no, I'm just excited. It's that time. It's coming around. But gosh, it's hard to get excited about anything that goes on outdoors right now. Good. I'm glad. Could you imagine in 6 weeks even playing on a football field? It's only going to get hotter.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for September and October games for sure.
I've been playing a lot of golf lately and walking and trying to get some exercise instead of using the cart. And there's certain times of the day to avoid. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Oh my gosh! I mean, you say you're walking, Ryan?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! My brother, I don't golf. I just follow him around, and we walk. And I go, yeah, this is okay. And then one day, the golf girl, the golf cart lady,
yes,
found him sitting there. He was fixing to die. I go, Roger. So yeah, we've been on the carts ever since then. So I'm glad for that. Yeah, no, I would. You'd have to get up early in the morning to go golfing if you were walking. I can only imagine. They'd probably ban you. But you must be a pretty fair golfer if you can walk and stay ahead of the guys on the carts.
Yeah, it depends. I don't want to deep dive on it too much. One guy in a cart will always be undefeated, but if there's more than two, then yeah, I'm usually out walking them. I'm not great, but I shoot upper 80s, so I hold my own.
We're in a cart and we hold up walkers.
But also, it's everyone's different speed, right? Some people are drinking, having a good time, and just chilling, and then I have one purpose, and that's to play that golf hole and go to the next hole. So
that is crazy. You're one of those guys. Yeah, they get out there, do it every day, come back, do it again.
Yep.
And dang, that's it. And get mad. I've never been mad when I left the golf course. I can guarantee you
Fair
that.
enough.
But hey, I'll let you all get back to it. I know you got some interviews, and I'm interested to hear them. But I'm glad it's coming around for my time of season. Y'all have a great rest of your week, and if I don't talk to you, we'll see you when you get back.
Appreciate it, Jeff. That is Jeff from Columbus joining us on the Sports Call phone line. And since I know that he will remain listening, I'm sure he'll probably be glad to know that we are beside friends at Dog Nation this week. So we got a Georgia show beside us, and of course Georgia and Auburn will share the spotlight tomorrow morning for the first half of Tuesday.
I actually already picked the brain of one of the guys, but about baseball, about Auburn picking up the hitting coach from Georgia, and just kind of seeing what they thought about that. So I've actually talked baseball with the
there you go
with the Dog guys.
Other things are okay.
There's other things going on, but You get one of the top hitting coaches in the country from Georgia. Why not ask him about it?
Sure.
It just makes me think. I just want to mess with Tom by saying, like, where are we in the first pitch for baseball?
Oh Lord!
Oh, I don't know if they've opened the parking lots yet.
No.
Tickets haven't even been sold.
They haven't even cut the grass yet.
Yeah. They got a lot of work to do on that thing. But again, we are live here, Radio Row, in Tampa, Florida. It's also just really cool to say live in Tampa. You guys know that I don't visit it at the rate I did for a 3 or 4 year span here, but I have been. I'll very convictingly say I've been more than you guys. JJ's been a long time ago, but I don't know. I think I still have him beat. Honestly, he's half listening.
But you've visited Raymond James Stadium a lot. Have you been to this area, like right here at the Riverwalk and all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been to Lightning games?
I've been to a Lightning game. I've been to the aquarium.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
I actually walked around. So I went on a summer trip. Was this now 4 years ago? I think 5 years ago, with a friend, and we went to a local bar the night the Lightning won the Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay.
And so we were celebrating Tampa winning the cup down here.
All right.
So yeah, no, I've been on the Pinellas County side more, in St. Pete and Clearwater, more than I've been in Hillsborough, which is obviously where we are in Tampa.
Right.
But I've been so many times. I've been up at USF before,
right.
Which is about 15 minutes away from where we are. So yeah, no, I've been around the block. I don't know every street, and there's so much going on. There's places obviously I've not been.
But you know the area.
Yes, I'm familiar. Again, I've been to multiple Brazilian steakhouses on this, so I can power rank 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
What they are.
And I'm thinking if I can just drag
beaches.
Brooks to the aquarium, make him go.
Yeah, aquarium's legit. I mean, I
love aquariums. I'm one of those nerds.
I don't have a lot to compare it to, admittedly, but we spent, I don't know, an hour and a half in there, 2 hours. I mean, it was a respectable amount of time, I think.
Because Atlanta's is pretty.
Atlanta's is extensive, yeah.
Huge, and it's expensive too, just for tickets.
From my understanding, Georgia Aquarium rules all, so I won't market this to be that, but I think this is. Look, I mean, we've got a lot of water surrounding the Tampa Bay area. I think it's fair that they would know how to get some serviceable size.
We got it coming down from the sky. We have it in the
right. So, but yeah, no, there's a lot of fun things
Don't have
do.
to go far to get the fish to go in your aquarium.
Right.
True,
True.
Go in the backyard and grab some.
Well, and again, like I said earlier, we can see one of the waterways here.
Right.
We're on Water Street, after all. But also, I mean, right behind us is Benchmark International Arena, home of the Lightning, formerly Amalie Arena. So, again, and have had the pleasure of being in there. And that helped me develop the take that hockey in person actually better than hockey on TV because you don't lose the puck. Even high up, like you see the play developing really well.
Right.
There's a lot of value in a nice in-person hockey game.
The sound of an in-person hockey game is way different than on TV as well.
Sure. So anyway, there's your segment about
Tampa.
About the city of Tampa.
Oh yeah, if you didn't know, we're in Tampa.
Right.
For media days.
Yes, we are. Let's take our first time out here of the 4 o'clock hour, and when we come back, we're going to air our interview with Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, talking about the Dodd Trophy, talking Auburn football, and talking a little bit about his book coming up real shortly about 50 years of memories in the SEC. This is the Monday edition of Sports Call, live from Radio Row in Tampa, Florida. We'll be right back.
May we have your attention, please?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
We're Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show.
Hi, my name is. My name is. My name is.
Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Looking for the best credit card rate in town? The rate on Auburn University Credit Union's MasterCard starts at 7.9% APR. That's right, 7.9% APR. For more information or to apply, visit one of their 3 locations or myaucu.org. Annual percentage rate. Auburn University Credit Union is an equal opportunity lender.
Today, we continue to see high temperatures, low to mid-90s. Heat index values able to creep up around 100. We will see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon hours, but about 30% of the area overall seeing any of that rain. Lows will be in the low to mid-70s for Tuesday. Again, very similar to the last several days. A few spots will get wet, but not everywhere. Highs again, low to mid-90s, and lows overnight into the mid-70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
Looking for your next great find? Go exploring at Mission Thrift. Every day brings something new, from books and name brand clothing to furniture, home decor, and so much more. You never know what treasures you'll uncover. And the best part? Every purchase supports a great cause. Find us at 2052 East University Drive in Auburn, right behind Zaxby's. Lifesavers Mission Thrift. Discover more, spend less.
Whether it's enjoying a night in with good friends and close family or having some fun in the great outdoors, don't forget to grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola from one of your 17 local TK's convenience stores. Every sip of an ice-cold refreshing Coke helps make whatever you are doing memorable. With a variety of options to choose from, TK's has a Coke for every occasion. So don't forget to stop by any one of your local 17 TK stores today and pick up an ice-cold Coca-Cola.
When the game is on the line, heroes rise, and off the field, real heroes deserve their moment too. Game Day for Heroes is all about giving back, providing unforgettable game day experiences to the brave men and women who've served our great nation. It's more than just tickets. It's about saving lives, restoring families, building tomorrow, and honoring our heroes. You can help make a difference. For more information or to donate tickets, visit GameDayForHeroes.org. Game Day for Heroes, because those who serve deserve a game day they'll never forget.
Weekdays from noon until 3 p.m. Join Tilly the Elder Emo for Flashback Lunch and all your favorite alternative rock in the afternoon. Only on Tiger 95.9 and on the Tiger Communications app.
The summer heat is here, and the best way to make sure you stay cool all season long is to give May Refrigeration a call. When your AC goes out or needs maintenance, May Refrigeration's technicians are trained and equipped to handle anything that comes their way. And don't forget, it's never a bad time to get your heating system checked, especially when you aren't using it. Give May Refrigeration a call today at 745-COLD. That's 745-COLD. So for quality customer service that you can count on every time, May Refrigeration, proudly serving the Auburn and Opelika area.
This is Andy Burcham, voice of the Auburn Tigers, and you're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back to SEC Media Days 2026. Ryan Lavoie, Brooks Childers here with Sports Call Auburn. We are pleased to be joined by Mr. College Football himself, Tony Barnhart. Tony, the time is greatly appreciated. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. It's just hard to believe that it's time to get going again. Holy cow. But it's good. I get to see a lot of friends. I've been doing this for a while now. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the day and tomorrow.
Absolutely. So, Tony, we want to start, as always, with the Dodd Trophy. We know how important it is. Last year, Kurt Cignetti won it. Maybe a bit presumptive of me, but felt like one of the easier choices there's been for what he's doing with Indiana. Tell me a little bit about Kurt and about the Dodd Trophy and what it means.
Well, the Dodd Trophy is different than other Coach of the Year awards. In this, winning and losing, absolutely. But it's also about what are your players doing academically? What are they doing from a community service standpoint? And that's a big part of it. We get all this documentation of it. And Kurt Cignetti was a pretty easy pick last year, but he has done a great job in those other two areas that I'm talking about. So he is on our preseason watch list with guys like Brett Bielema, Mario Cristobal, Ryan Day, Kalen DeBoer, Sonny Dykes, Mike Elko. Mike Elko is a really good football coach, guys. And so there's a list here, and during the course of the year, there will be an update every week, and they'll give you a Dodd watch list. But again, I've been asked to put my name on a number of things over the years, but this is the one that I do, and I'm proud to have my name associated with it.
You mentioned DeBoer and Elko. Are there any other SEC names on that watch list early?
I think Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart is on the list. I'm sitting here looking at my list right now. Kalen DeBoer. Josh Heupel is on the list. Steve Sarkisian is on the list. Kirby Smart's on the list. Brent Venables is on the list. So pretty heavy SEC list there.
Yeah, and you talk about, again, these great coaches and also dealing with more than they've ever dealt with before. When you have NIL and you have the transfer portal and we're starting to see general managers introduced into college football. Just tell me a little bit about everything that's having to be managed now that is so different.
What's amazing, though, is that for all the issues that are going on off the field in college football, the game that we see every Saturday on the field is as good as it's ever been. Matter of fact, it's better than it's ever been. It's a great, great game. Now we got to go to work and figure out some guardrails to get some organizational part that we can't, surprise, we can't agree on what that's going to be. But sooner or later, we've got to do it. But until then, the game itself is just absolutely incredible.
Let's talk a little bit about Auburn now, Tony, and obviously circling through those coaches the last several seasons and the Tigers without a winning season since 2020. What are your kind of expectations for Alex Golesh trying to get this thing off the ground?
Well, I think the elements are there. You've got the head coach you want. You've got he got his quarterback, and a guy who's had a tremendous year. So you're going to be good. You should be good offensively. Now, we don't know until you play a bona fide SEC defense. That means big people who can run really fast and get there with a real bad attitude. And so I'm anxious to see how, on paper, it looks like the right steps have been made. But let's see. Let's see when they play the Gators. Let's have a conversation after they play the Gators.
Auburn and Florida both have first-year head coaches. Out of the entirety of the SEC, which SEC first-year head coach do you think is set up for the most success early?
I think John Summerall. I think I've been down to Florida a couple of times this summer, and just talking to the people there, they are excited about this guy. Now, the previous guy didn't work out. We understand that, and he found a good job at James Madison, by the way. Good for him. But yeah, it's the people I talk to, the Florida Gator folks, are really excited about John Summerall. And the key, I was talking to one of their folks the other day, and he said, when a team takes the field and plays for 5 minutes, you can get a sense of whether or not they're a good coach, well-coached team. And I think the Florida people said, well, no matter what, we're going to be a well-coached team no matter what. And so that's the key, I think, to Florida.
And obviously, I mean, we kind of stick with the coaching theme here, but you have a new or an old guy at a new place with Lane Kiffin and all the headlines that drew. And LSU also, like many, does not have much patience, and they brought in him for a large sum.
Oh, yeah.
What are the ripple effects for what that means for LSU this year and what it means for an Ole Miss team that brings back their quarterback and some weapons?
Well, I like Oh, I like Ole Miss. their collection of offensive talent, and you mentioned Keywan Lacey. That dude can flat play now. So you've got two elite players at quarterback and running back. And LSU to me is a hard. Now, if you're just looking at the roster, great coach, great roster. It's all there. They've spent the money. But what happens when they start playing the games? I'll never forget when Jimbo Fisher got that huge contract with Texas A&M. Every time Texas A&M played a game, they rarely talked about the football game. It's about that contract. And it sort of hung over that program. And I'm wondering if that's going to happen at LSU. Somebody told me, I don't follow gambling, but somebody told me the line on LSU was 8.5. The upper over and under was 8.5. Really? If they don't win at least 10 or 11 games, they're going to be a riot down there. So we'll see.
And again, you mentioned what Texas A&M did after Jimbo Fisher was hire Mike Elko. Someone had been there a little bit and had developed Duke a ways, and he had one of the quieter years, I feel like, in the SEC last year. I mean, they were 11-0 until the Texas game. I mean,
right.
this program has been a great direction right now.
Well, it should have been the playoffs, but that's another conversation. But I think Mike Elko's a really good football coach. I really do. And I think to me, that's my dark horse team. The team that could get to Atlanta that a lot of people are expecting to get to Atlanta. I think they could.
And you speak about Atlanta. We just heard from the commissioner a little bit ago about the future of conference championship games when it comes to playoff expansion and everything. Is that something that you'd like to see stick around as the championship games?
Yes, and no. Well, I don't see that you can do it. Maybe with 16 teams in the playoff, you can do it. At 24, you can't do it. I would, this is hard for me because I spent some time with Commissioner Roy Kramer at his home in Tennessee not very long before he passed away. And I know what that game meant to him, and I know what it has meant to me. And so, but if you go 16 or above, I don't see how you can keep it. So
the calendar challenges that just exist.
You run out of Saturdays.
Sure.
Well, it's two factors. You run out of Saturdays, plus you run out of people who actually want to play in the game. Because they're worried about, and as coaches do, they worry about the downside. The upside is you could win the SEC championship, but the downside is you could get knocked out of the playoffs.
Is that one of, if not the biggest hesitations with a bigger playoff? If not just pertaining to a conference championship game, what if we get to the end of a season and a team does not feel incentivized even by the last week of the regular season? Are we heading down that road now?
And that's my greatest fear is that I don't know if coaches would leave players out, hold them back, because like the NFL, we don't need you because we're already in the playoffs. That's not college football. That's not what we want. And so we got to figure out something to do. I'm afraid when you do all that, the answer is going to be to do away with the conference championship games.
So talking to Tony Barnhart, Mr. College Football on Sports Call today. Tony, before we get you out of here, you've been working on Mr. College Football 50 Years of SEC Memories. What does this mean to you? I mean, it's a collection of a lot of great stories. Just what does it mean to you to be working on this?
Well, it's a very personal book. I tell people, I tell you what the book is, but I'll tell you what the book is not. It's not a list of my favorite games and the greatest games ever played and the greatest. No, this is about this is a story. Tennessee player by the name of Will Overstreet. I was in Tennessee on 9/11, and I was there after they hit the Twin Towers. And we still interviewed the players. I was working for College Game Day. Will Overstreet came in, and he had his practice gear on, had a cell phone, and players never come to a meeting with a cell phone. I said, "What's wrong, Will?" He says, "My sister is at the Pentagon today, and I can't find her." And he was scared to death, and I told him, I said, "We don't have to do this." He said, "No, I want to do it." They finally got together like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. But when I go to Tennessee, I think of Will Overstreet. I saw a lot of great games at Tennessee. But when I go to Tennessee, it's those kind of personal memories that make this book. There's 16 chapters, one for each. My memory of each school in the SEC. I did a chapter on the 3 commissioners I worked with, and I did a chapter on. I have a group of guys who are my fraternity brothers who go with me to the Georgia-Florida game every year, and we sit around and eat at our favorite restaurants and tell lies about our misspent youth. And I just wanted to do a chapter to honor the boys. We lost one of them last year, and so that's one of the chapters as well.
Since we are in Auburn, would there be one, even if it's not from the book upcoming, would there be one from Auburn that comes to mind for you, a memory that you'd like to share?
December 2nd, 1989, the day that Alabama came to Auburn and played at Jordan-Hare Stadium for the very first time. The most emotional day I've ever spent on a football field. And then there's the video that you guys seen it about Pat Dye talking to his team when it's over. He's brought to tears, and that is my favorite memory from Auburn.
Awesome stuff. He is Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, with us today on Sports Call. Tony, we appreciate the time. Enjoyed your time, and just all the best to you as you got this book that you've been working on and covering some media days, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon.
All right, guys, enjoyed it.
That is Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart, with us today on Sports Call.
To join our conversation, tweet us your thoughts on Twitter at SportsCallAU. Weekdays from 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. Make sure you listen to the Weekday Rush with James Chandler on Tiger 95.9 FM and the Tiger Communications app.
Good morning, my neighbors!
Get ready for RibFest 2026 at Texas Roadhouse in Opelika. Starting June 24th and running through July 28th, we're celebrating our legendary fall-off-the-bone ribs and 250 years of American pride with fun events all summer long. Join us on June 29th for Kids Night and our coloring contest kickoff, where kids can win Texas Roadhouse prizes. Then, mark your calendar for July 13th and watch local competitors battle for the title of Rib-Eating Champion. Plus, enter to win a grill and Texas Roadhouse gift basket every time you visit during RibFest. And don't forget, order our rib and pork family packs for your 4th of July celebration. Texas Roadhouse, Opelika, where summer tastes better with ribs.
TK's Convenience Stores are your one-stop shop from Auburn to the Lake and Tallahassee to Tuskegee. Offering friendly service and a clean environment, there is sure to be a TK's located near you. Stop by on your way to and from work or school and pick up everything you need, from beer, soft drinks, and fresh hot coffee to food, snacks, and ice cream. Plus, automotive and household products, pet food, and an ATM in every store. Just look for the orange and blue Starburst sign and stop by your local TK store today. TK's Convenience Stores, they're your one-stop shop.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Want more Sports Call? Check us out online at SportsCallAuburn.com.
Welcome back. This is the Monday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Brian Lavoie, Tom Peavy, and Jack Myrick coming to you live here, Radio Row in Tampa, Florida. Yes, it's technically called Digital Drive in the year of our Lord, 2026. Yeah. I shall still grandfather in Radio Row. But you just heard our interview a little bit earlier today with Mr. College Football, Tony Barnhart. Certainly appreciate the time that he's given us several years in a row now. And, again, always look forward to talking to him. Again, he's got so many great stories, and you heard it there at the end of the interview. That 1989 Iron Bowl in Jordan-Hare Stadium was a memory that very much stood out to him. And the book that he's working on is a very personal grouping of memories, not just favorite games or favorite outcomes or anything like that, or favorite coaches, but memories about each university, memories about each commissioner of the Southeastern Conference that he's covered. And again, Tony's just one of the legends, quite frankly, of the industry, of media and around the SEC.
Yeah.
And 50 years plus of SEC memories is something special.
I've been fortunate to, talk to him on the show, but also just off the air, and very brief conversation. But he is a guy that any of us, you feel like you could talk to all night long and have stories that would just blow your mind of everything that he's experienced. And, his whole thing of covering Georgia football back in the day when I was going to games there all the time is something that we were sharing with each other. I think it was a couple of years ago we were talking, and I was bringing up these very obscure Georgia players from the 80s, and it kind of perked him up. He's like, wow, you really do remember some things from the 80s. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I was a kid, but I remember these things. And that's the thing, with him, and that's how he's able to relive these stories, of all of his times doing this is, these things just stick with you. And it's kind of really what's special about what we get to do with this is making these memories and just covering sports in general. It's things that stick in your head for really a lifetime.
They really do. And again, you say it usually every year about rubbing elbows with everyone in the industry,
Yeah.
and whether it's a direct conversation or just a passing hello or an interview. Again, I feel like we are more in it this year. You mentioned.
Right.
And some years you kind of nestled in the back or that sort of thing. Some of the SEC Network crew has to walk right beside us going in and out
the door,
to the studio. They've got a main ESPN setup. Like if you were watching Get Up this morning, which, personalities on there don't usually cover college football a whole lot, but if you were watching Get Up this morning, they were having a head of Jordan Rogers a couple of times, and he's talking, and in the background you could see Brooks, you could see us.
Mm-hmm.
Super early this morning. They had Heather Dinich and Pete Thamel have done live hits, just one more kind of section further down, all very much within shouting distance. The voices you hear in the background are all voices of, again, tables right around us, or some of these sets CBS Sports is right in front of us. So, it is just such a conglomerate of so many of the people that cover and care about this league.
Yeah.
And it always means something to me to just casually be amongst those, and kind of no matter how many years you do this, never lose sight of you were the kid dreaming of talking to these guys or meeting these guys before. Now you are doing it professionally, and that sort of thing will always be cool.
Yeah, we've got these cameras pointed at us, but if we had a camera behind us just filming what we're looking at and the amount of folks that walk past us that say, hey, they wave to us because they've been on the show with us numerous times. They've known us, but, Paul Feinbaum walks by, looks over, gives us a wave. Ryan McGee walks by, gives us a wave. Cole Kublik, Jordan Rogers. If the camera could face and see what we're seeing and just the VIPs, I guess you could say, that are walking by here and recognize us from previous years, and, we're getting the waves from them. It's like, that's just kind of neat. This is your first year, Jack, experience.
It's funny, though, because, Ryan, I feel like Ryan might be the same way with this, but, we're at SC Media Days, but, seeing Ryan McGee and Marty McGee, and Marty Smith, and seeing them and thinking, they're kind of getting back to the NASCAR game. I'd love to hear, their opinions on things, getting back into this, talking about, that sport that they love. That's where they started. And seeing them now where they're here, you've been working with the SEC for a few years now, and kind of come back with that through TNT has brought them in. So I just think, to me, that interesting. But yeah, it is first year here. It really excited, as I mentioned, started the show. It's funny because, as I said, you see these people walk by, and you kind of just go you've seen this person, you've watched their content, or you've read what they've written. And it's very fascinating, though, to see. Then you get to see all the setups and stuff and how things, because then one takeaway from that. You learn, from them, and always, I think you always can better yourself, and this media is always evolving. And that's the thing where, we're, years ago, we're just doing radio. Now we're doing broadcasts, doing streams and stuff. It's just things continue to evolve, and I think that's what makes it exciting because you just kind of you keep on your toes.
You want to talk about evolving. This was one of our first times doing media days when it was still in Birmingham, and we had just a tiny little box. A lot of people had big setups. We had this little itty-bitty box that we were running out of, and we had a technical difficulty, and we were not able to go on the air. I drove from Hoover back to Auburn. I don't want to say how fast I was driving back to Auburn, but I made it back to Auburn in time enough to run in the studio, sit down, and start the show live. Literally that quick, because that you're talking about evolve.
Yeah.
You know, we've evolved where we have, you know, checks and balances in place now to where that's, oh goodness, I don't want to say not going to happen. Knock on wood right here.
Way.
But hopefully we're not in a situation that one of us has to like hurriedly drive back to Tampa to get a show on the air. But that's how we have evolved. And
yeah.
You know, goodness gracious, I walked in the door. You guys have already been set up and doing some work before I got here, and I walk in, and we've got cameras set up and lights set up.
Because usually the thing I've joked with people when asking them stuff about, you know, I graduated from journalism school at Auburn, and talking about, I'm now doing graphic design things. I'm like, that's not something that you necessarily would consider as journalism, but it's the way things are now. You have to know how to do that. You got to learn how to do all these editing and stuff. It's just multimedia now. It's just how it is.
All right, let's grab another phone call here on the Sports Call phone line, 334-887-3401 locally, or toll-free 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Next up,
Michael from Auburn.
Michael joins us. Michael, how are you doing today?
Doing good, guys. And this may be way too early to start trying to game plan, but it's, first game against Baylor, if you were, a defensive coordinator for Baylor, or even if you're offensive mindset, like going in last year, they played too high.
Oh, Michael, you there?
Michael, you still there?
Thought that we were going to, run as much or have that much success. So if you're game planning in your Auburn, or if you're Baylor, like, what's your defensive mindset going into that of what you're looking for? And then if you're Auburn, do you expect them to not make the same mistakes they made last year and the passing a little more?
Yeah, you cut out a couple of times there, but I think I got the gist of it. Basically, what is your defensive game plan looking at the offenses, the other side? I think that, if you're Baylor and you think back to last year, Auburn had run so effectively. They never caused Auburn to have to throw. We left the game thinking, man, we really don't know a whole lot about Jackson Arnold, but we appreciated the running that he did, and the team as a whole had a couple very impactful and important and clutch possessions. So I think if you're Baylor, you want to test the full skill set of Byron Brown. You know he's going to be able to run two, and Auburn's got a bunch of running backs. So I think that they're going to try to make Byron, I don't know if they're going to be capable of it, but I think that's their game plan. They're going to make him try to throw. I think from Auburn's point of view, I think what you were getting at there, Michael, is that, again, they had a couple of missed opportunities. Sawyer Robertson was a little inefficient in that game. They made some big plays, and he threw for a bunch of yards, but they just didn't hit him every single time. I think Michael Trigg, the tight end, had a huge one last year, if memory serves, and he's not back this year. But and heck, their running back Bryson Washington's not back because I know where he is. But I think if you're Auburn, I think you're kind of looking back at some of the film of DJ Lagway last year, and you're combining that with what Baylor has done with Sawyer Robertson the last couple of years, and you're trying to project how much more controlled do they think that the Baylor offense will make Lagway in terms of, at Florida, he felt like he was street balling. He was going to go out there, and he was going to have to run around for his life, and he was going to try to make some insane plays. And his freshman year, it looked really cool. His sophomore year, he threw 1 million interceptions. So I would assume that Baylor is going to try to rein him in and make it more systematic. The way Sawyer Robertson did it. Well, DJ Lagway, one of his best traits is to be able to move around, and even though it costs him some, can they control that chaos better within that system? So I think that, again, you're looking at a quarterback-centric game from Baylor if you're Auburn's defense. And if you're Baylor's defense, you're trying to make Byron Brown beat you as a thrower out of the get-go, because that's why you lost last year.
One of the biggest things with Baylor's defense that they're going to have to try to do to stop Auburn is try to get Auburn behind the sticks early in downs because Auburn wants to go so fast. I mean, it's tempo. And if you can get them behind the sticks on early downs, then you're able to slow that tempo down a little bit. And so that's the biggest thing that Baylor's going to try to do on defense is slow down that pace. And now what Auburn's going to do is, DJ Durkin, I trust DJ Durkin to have that defense set and ready to go. And he knows what he's facing with that quarterback, and he knows what they're facing with the running backs. And I think what you're going to see is more bend but don't break type stuff. And it's going to be probably some frustrating times again because I've said it over and over. One thing I really want to see Auburn improve on are these third downs where, it's 3rd and 12 and you give up a 15-yard gain. I think that's probably still going to be the case with this defense, but then they kind of bear down and don't allow anything too big. They just kind of keep everything in front of them. And that's what I expect. I expect them to try to get pressure on the quarterback and try to get him in comfortable situations and just play their game. So that's what I'm looking at on that side. But, yeah, on Auburn's offensive side, that's what Baylor is absolutely going to try to do is slow that pace down because they want to go really, really fast.
It is going to be interesting because they did make the defensive coordinator change this past season, moving on from Matt Powledge last year on to Joel Klannerman this year. I do think, because I think I mentioned this last week when we were going through the most important games, was that for me the Baylor game is really I feel confident enough in the offense being it's at the end of the day it's still going to be a Big 12 defense. Big 12 is just never. That's just not what they're priding themselves on. Just not at all. I feel like it's going to be a game where you'd expect a lot of offense from both teams and expect the ball to be moving down the field a lot. And that's where I want to see Auburn's defense more than in that game than Auburn's offense, which is kind of, I think, shock to some people because they expect, hey, it's a new quarterback, new system. You want to see how it works. You want to see how it goes. And trust me, I do want to see it, but I just expect it to be fluent, very, competent, as I said, that game going up against a defense like that. Because, they're going to be working out, their kicks too. It's a new system for them. They're trying to figure things out. And so I want to see DJ Durkin's defense go out there. Get rid of those 3rd and longs. Like if you have 3rd and long, get off the field. That's something that it's not even Durkin's. It seems just something that Auburn's had to dealt with, the past 5 years. It's felt like you've had those moments where it's 3rd and 15, 3rd and 17, just a penalty or a big sack, and the Tigers have just allowed either just a little dump off that's gone for those yards and to get a first down. That's where I want to see you get cleaned up. That's where I want to see gets, not allowed in that game to open up the season. And then finally, I think you just want to really see this defense come out very strong because, at the end of the day, they're going to be a younger unit. They're still not as experienced as they were last year, and you want to see the guys in Elijah Melendez and Xavier Atkins in the linebacker core that are going to be those leaders on defense really step up and make plays.
Yeah, and, again, you're talking about the 3rd and long defense, and, not all 3rd downs are created equal, obviously. And,
right.
There's a certain level of understanding if you give up a bunch of 3rd and shorts. Those are big plays, and you're going to have to get one of those eventually. Like, you can't just always give up 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2. But, the percentage rate is obviously very high of offensive success. And, hell, they'll go for it on 4th down if they don't get it. So, you really have you actually stopped them on 3rd down, even if you technically did. But when it comes to these 3rd and 10 pluses, these obvious situations, it's kind of like a little bit of a stare-off because both teams know what's happening, and like you're trying to do so much game prep and having signals and trying to do all these things to feel like you know it and can do better than just guessing it on other downs, but you really know it on 3rd and long. And so when you can't as a defense, it's one of the very few times you actually know what's coming.
Right.
When you still can't stop it, I think there's a frustration level that can boil over a little bit more. So, again, I think that's just one of the traits that DJ Durkin defenses are still kind of continually having to work on. We got a few more minutes left here in the hour. Again, appreciate that phone call from Michael from Auburn. Sorry about a little bit of the connection woes towards the end there. But also want to tell you about Fairway Auto Brokers. They are a part of our SEC Media Days coverage. If you're looking for your next vehicle, Fairway Auto Brokers makes buying easy with quality pre-owned vehicles, competitive financing options, and customer service you can trust. Stop by and see why so many drivers choose Fairway Auto Brokers. And Waldo's Chicken and Beer after the game, or anytime you're craving crispy chicken, cold beer, and a great atmosphere, make Waldo's your destination. Great food, cold drinks, and the perfect place to catch all the action this football season. I know that me and JJ the night before, we headed to Tampa, so Saturday night to be exact. JJ and I took the trip down South College Street to go to Waldo's. I had the half chicken. I was a hungry boy. I'd been on the golf course a little bit earlier in the day. JJ got some tenders. We both had a great time. And we want you to check out Waldo's Chicken and Beer. We should be partnering with them on many more things here come the fall, come football season. So as you gear up for football season, take advantage of the great food at Waldo's Chicken.
JJ's tenders were not spicy, I can guarantee it.
That is true. Although he has said, listen to this, I'm going to throw him square under the bus. We've all had Waldo's here.
Yeah.
The tenders are really good.
They are.
They've got like a nice seasoning or something.
Very good.
Yes.
That man over there that's wearing orange, the camera cannot see him, but his name's J.J. Jackson. He thinks they're too spicy.
Just the plain wing or the plain tender itself.
Yeah, it gets to him a little bit. Yeah. I'm throwing him straight under the bus. Yeah, it's tough, man. That's why when we do the hot sauce challenge, and I'm proud of him for even going halfway.
Yeah.
Like, that's an accomplishment. And I don't blame him for tapping out at 7 or 8 usually. So.
But yeah, Waldo's is so good, though, because, I mean, we even tried looking for one, on our way here and stuff. I think what we said, Pensacola, I think was the closest one. And I just could, if we ever had the ability where we could have it, out here, just where we could, if our guests, but hey, try one. Because we always joke that is one of our sponsors that really just sells itself once you have a bite of that chicken.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do want to remind everyone, because I just made reference to it, we are again on YouTube this week as we broadcast live from Tampa. We are also on our Facebook page, SportsCall Auburn, but also on SportsCall Auburn YouTube live. Appreciate Jared Dillard for being with us here this week. A lot of the camera work, the lights, all the things to make the broadcast visible and run smooth. We appreciate that. Appreciate all you guys. I am not technologically advanced, despite the age of 30 being suggested that I should be.
You cut the zip ties.
I did cut the zip ties, and I delivered JJ his backpack and a couple other very minute tasks, but appreciate all you guys.
Hey, we were all just told here to sit here and look pretty. That's what we're going to do.
Look,
today.
you're talking about you technology. I'm 49 years old, and I'm like deathly afraid to touch anything because if I do, I don't know how to put it back together. And I'm like, it broke, and I don't know what it is. And somebody help me. I need an adult.
Just do not hit that power switch. That's
I think that's my problem is I get concerned that I'm going to make something actively worse. So if I don't know the answer, I just stop rather than proceed with caution. But we got about a minute left here in hour number 2. Again, coming up hour number 3, we're going to have some great guests for you. Again, pre-recorded interviews from earlier today. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Chris Doring of the SEC Network. He's going to talk some wide receivers. He's going to talk about Auburn and Florida and the rivalry that's being renewed inside of Jordan-Hare Stadium come week number 3 this season, and what it means for Auburn and Florida to get going again after so many years of not playing, now that we know they'll play everyone every other year. And 5:30 today, Rich Clark, the executive president of the College Football Playoff Committee, he is going to talk a little bit about the differing formats, what is next for the playoff, and the process of selecting its members, all that kind of good stuff as we continually feel like year-round we talk something about the playoffs. But that does it for hour number 2 of the program. Stay tuned. Much more ahead in hour number 3 as we broadcast live from Tampa, Florida. It's SEC Media Days 2026, and this is Sports Call Auburn on Tiger 95.9.
2 hours of Sports Call are finished. Don't touch that radio dial. We've got one more hour to go.
Check out Auburn University Credit Union's 7-month CD special. Get 4.15% APR back on a regular or IRA share certificate or 4.25% back on a 7-month jumbo and IRA share certificate. Visit myaucu.org or one of our local branches to learn more. Annual percentage rate, $2,500 minimum deposit for regular share certificates, $500 minimum deposit for IRA share certificates. Jumbo rate applies to $100,000 plus deposits. Terms and conditions apply. Rates subject to change. Visit myaucu.org/rates for current information. TK's Convenience Stores have a brand new look. That's right. Look for the red, white, and blue. It's Arco, American-owned top-tier gasoline, now at select TK's locations. Need great gas at a great price? TK's and Arco have you covered with the best price gas in town. American-made fuel for you and your family. So roll into your neighborhood TK's today, where TK's and Arco are as American as apple pie.
Hello friends, Tay Gibbs here at Fairway Auto Brokers. Hot days and hotter deals. Fairway Auto Brokers is turning up the heat this summer with 2 locations, one in Auburn and one in Opelika. Finding your next vehicle is easier than ever. Choose from our massive selection of over 125 vehicles in stock right now. Beat the heat and score an amazing deal today. Shop our inventory online at fairwayautobrokers.com.
Feeling thirsty? Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea is made with thirst-quenching real brew tea and 5% alcohol. Fun to drink poolside, at the lake, or even play in the back nine. Look for the bright yellow Twisted Tea cans. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
For over a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. It's also the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping us safe in dangerous times. A new bill in Congress would ensure this free, reliable service remains in cars. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM radio for every vehicle act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory is here for you when you need us. With locations in Lee, Chambers, and Tallapoosa counties, serving the people of East Alabama and West Georgia since 1900. A family-owned and operated business, skip the hassle of the big corporate mortuaries. Our kind, compassionate team members are standing by to assist your family in the hardest of times. An on-site crematory, private cemetery, and a choice of facilities makes Frederick Dean unique. Visit us at frederickdean.com.
When it's extremely hot or cold, your heating and cooling system has to work almost non-stop to keep you comfortable. To give your system a work break and save money, raise your thermostat to 78 degrees in the summer and lower it to 65 degrees in the winter. Your wallet and your system will thank you. Brought to you by Tallapoosa River Electric Cooperative.
It's heating up at Sons Ford in Auburn with the hottest sale of the year. Now's the time to save big on a huge selection of new Ford trucks, SUVs, and cars. Whether you're looking for a rugged F-150, a family-friendly Explorer, or a fuel-efficient Escape, you'll find incredible deals waiting for you. Don't let these summer savings pass you by. Visit Sons Ford in Auburn today or shop online at sonsford.com and pick the Ford you've been wanting at a price you'll love. Sons Ford in Auburn, where the hottest deals of the year are happening now.
Home financing is about more than a loan. It's about building stronger communities. At Cross Country Mortgage in Auburn, we help first-time buyers, growing families, and homeowners make smart financial moves with confidence. Local experts, personal service, one team dedicated to you.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefit.
Already planning for some fun in the sun? Don't forget to fill your cooler with the smooth and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real brewed tea. And with 5% alcohol, Twisted Tea is there to turn things up all day long. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Look for it in the bright yellow cans. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn.
This is the Tiger Communications Sports Report brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. I'm Brooks Childress. Back in March, Auburn junior sprinter Kayanola Ajayi was named the Southeastern Conference Indoor Male Runner of the Year by the league office. The award is voted on by the SEC head coaches. Ajayi won the SEC Indoor 60-meter championship. He equaled a collegiate record with a winning time of 6.45. Ajayi broke his own school record in the process and entered the NCAA Indoor Championships with the top 60-meter time in the nation. The Atlanta Braves won their first series out of the All-Star break yesterday by winning the rubber match with the Texas Rangers by the score of 8-5. Atlanta jumped on the Rangers early with a sacrifice fly by Michael Harris II in the bottom of the first inning. Austin Riley would then start a big day for the third baseman in the second inning with a solo home run. Then Drake Baldwin would hit his own homer in the third to extend the lead. Riley would then hit another solo shot in the fourth to keep his hot hitting going. The Rangers would get on the board in the fifth with Wyatt Langford doubling in the first run of the game for Texas. Josh Jones would then hit a sacrifice fly a few batters later. Then later in the inning, Jake Berger would single in a third run to cut the lead to 1 run. Then in the seventh, it would be Austin Riley delivering a decisive blow with an RBI single.
0-1 pitch, and Riley rattles it up the middle, base hit. Olsen will score. Here comes Dubon. Throw out of center field, way off the mark and cut off. It's a 2 RBI single. Austin Riley having the best day he's had all season. And it's 6-3 Braves in the seventh.
That audio courtesy of the Atlanta Braves Radio Network. Outfielder Brewer Hecklin would then double in another run to extend the lead. The Rangers would strike back with Kyle Higashioka doubling in a run in the eighth that the Braves would answer in the bottom of the inning with another Drake Baldwin homer. Texas would try one last rally in the ninth as Langford would homer again, but it wouldn't be enough. The Braves now get set for a home series with the Padres starting tonight, and you can hear all the action on AM 1230 WAUD. And the PGA Tour has expanded its player equity program to reward current performance, adding the top 50 in the FedEx Cup this year to those receiving recurring grants from a first-of-its-kind program that has topped $1 billion in equity for more than 200 players. The expansion of the top 50 in the FedEx Cup was a result of a player meeting at the Rocket Classic 1 week after Brian Rowlap took over as CEO of the for-profit PGA Tour Enterprises. It was also discussed at the November board meeting before being approved. This will roughly double the number of players who will be receiving recurring grants this year. I'm Brooks Childress, and this is the Tiger Communications Sports Report brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union.
Auburn University Credit Union has partnered with Care Humane Society for the AUCU CARES debit card. It's free to you, and each time you swipe the card, AUCU makes a donation on your behalf. It's a win-win. For more information, visit myaucu.org. AUCU is federally insured by the NCUA and an equal opportunity lender.
You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9 FM, WTGZ Tuskegee, Auburn. Whether you're leaving work, cruising around town, or listening on demand, we've still got some fun left for you. To be part of the show, give us a call at 334-887-3401 locally or toll free at 1-888-9-TIGER-9. Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show has been on the air since 1995 and is ready for 60 more minutes of fun. Now, let's get this hour of Sports Call started.
Third and final hour of Sports Call beginning right now. Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Brian Lavoie, Tom Peavy, and Jack Myrick with you here today. We are live, Radio Row, Tampa, Florida. This is SEC Media Days 2026. Again, I'm going to keep saying this. Yes, because I get every now and then someone looks over and says, it's Digital Drive.
Yeah.
Well, okay, you wouldn't have a Digital Drive if you didn't have a Radio Row. And there are still far many more radio stations than there are podcasts here. So I'm going to keep calling it Radio Row until you make me not.
Plus, when I hear Digital Drive, I think of like storage, like the storage device for computers,
yes.
like
yes.
solid state drive or whatever. So,
yes.
But yeah.
And again, we've got some great sponsors supporting us here this week in Tampa, including Waldo's Chicken and Beer, Fairway Auto Brokers, Auburn Repro Graphics, United Auto Collision of Opelika, and Miller Lite. All right, and again, we'll remind you, too, we are, again, streaming on Facebook Live. We've got our Facebook, Sports Call Auburn, and we've got us on YouTube this week. We do have a Sports Call Auburn YouTube. We're trying to get that going a little bit. Some of the guys have done content throughout the summer. They did some World Cup stuff. We did some baseball stuff in the spring to get it going. So you check that out on our YouTube, but we are also live on YouTube all week this week. So make sure you check that out. All right, we will go ahead and go to our first interview here of this 5 o'clock hour. Again, these are pre-recorded from earlier today. First up is Chris Doering, the former Florida Gator wide receiver who has been with the SEC Network for a while now. And we talked a little bit of everything about Auburn and about the rebuild, but also about Auburn and Florida, what it meant to him and what it means to everybody getting it played more often. So here's our chat earlier with Chris Doering. Welcome back to SEC Media Days 2026. We are on Radio Row. It is Ryan Lavoie and Jack Myrick here with Sports Call Auburn. We are pleased to be joined by Chris Doering of the SEC Network today on the program. Chris, the time is greatly appreciated. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It is always a pleasure to be back with you guys. You guys are one of the stations that I look forward to being with, and I feel like we've done this every year for a while now here at Media Days.
We have indeed, and so we know you well enough to know that being a Florida guy and having Media Days in Tampa, a little something extra special. What does it mean to you to see the state of Florida taking a bigger and bigger role and imprint into the SEC?
Yeah, it's one, I love the conference's initiative to take Media Days on the road, to go to different parts of the SEC footprint. We've done a number of years in Atlanta, Nashville, Dallas a few years ago. So I think it just makes sense to come to Tampa. In Florida, you're not going to do South Florida. You're not going to do Jacksonville. So Orlando or Tampa probably makes the most sense. For me, this is great because it's a 2-hour drive. Didn't have to get on the plane, which was nice.
All right, so let's talk about this wide receiver room at Auburn and some of it coming from the Tampa area, from South Florida without Scholish's first year. And, of course, we, again, want to talk these wide receivers with you, Chris, because Auburn went from having one of the most talented receiver rooms in the country to now having a receiver room, again, made up of some South Florida guys fitting the out.
What is it? 6 receivers from South Florida, right? Isn't that what it is?
And probably all of the starters when you look at everyone from Keyshawn Singleton to Chaz Nimrod to Jeremiah Coger. I mean, these guys, I want to hear from you because the outside perception is going to be obviously talent taking a drop-off, but we don't often talk about the fit of the wide receiver room. So tell me about the fit of these wide receivers.
I'm glad you mentioned fit because I think, not to pivot from your question, but this coaching cycle, 6 teams with new coaches in the SEC this year, I think the fit amongst all of them is perfect. And I know there was a lot of people that thought Auburn may end up with John Summerall, but I think getting Alex Golish was the perfect fit for where Auburn is and what the fan base values, the physicality, the toughness. And I think, I watched Byron Brown and Alex Golish walk into the swamp last year with all those receivers and the center that comes over as well and beat my alma mater in an SEC environment. So I'm huge on if you can have the continuity in this day and age of college football where the roster turnover is significant every year. If you can bring in, a quarterback, a center, receivers that all know the scheme and have been together and you can, roll that out there week one with the experience that they have together. I mean, that's a distinct advantage that most schools don't have.
And Chris, speaking of a perfect fit, they have that quarterback, Byron Brown. He's been in this system. So what is your expectations for him this season, debuting as an SEC quarterback?
Yeah, we talked a lot about 3,000, 1,000. There's not a whole lot of quarterbacks that have thrown for 3,000 yards and rushed for 1,000 yards in the same season. Byron Brown's on that list with Vince Young and a number of other Heisman winners. I watched him with a roster at South Florida that was not as good as Florida's. He basically willed his team to victory with the fourth quarter performance that he had there. Not only throwing the football, but running it, finishing runs with a physicality and toughness that you can tell it matters to him. And so I think that's the leadership that I like, is the leadership by example. Guys that'll go out there and lay their bodies on the line. And I think Byron Brown is set to have another big year like that. And I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I'd put a few bucks on his Heisman candidacy. It's probably pretty long odds, but like, you put up 3,000, 1,000 in the SEC, and you can win, find a way to win 8 or 9 games. You're certainly going to be in that conversation.
You talked about the fit without Scolish, and obviously this program has been turning over head coaches a lot lately and has not had a winning season since 2020, the last year of Gus Malzahn. But you also factor in this transfer portal, and we talk about Byron Brown. We talk about all these guys getting to Auburn and the quick roster turnover you can have. What is the proper expectation level for a program that fired a guy that was winning 8 to 9 a year that has now not even won 7 since he departed?
Yeah.
And what does the timeline look like for something like that?
It's a little bit of the be careful what you wish for thing. We saw that at Nebraska. Remember, after Tom Osborne, Frank Solich takes over. They're winning 10 games every year, but not winning championships. They fired him, and next thing you know, they're down this wandering path that they still haven't recovered from. I think, in the landscape of today's college football, all it takes is the right coach and the right quarterback. Look no further than Indiana. Heading into last year, they were the losingest program in the history of college football, and they win a national championship, an unlikely national championship, because they found the right coach in Curt Cignetti and the right quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. And so I think you could very well say that this is a very similar situation at Auburn. When Cignetti came over, took a bunch of the JMU guys with him that were familiar with the system, that the coaches were familiar with, and that's exactly what we're dealing with Alec Goldich. So, am I going to say that they're going to win the national championship in year 2? I don't know if that's fair, particularly playing in the SEC. But I think there's 2 teams that I look at in the league that I think are going to take significant jumps in wins from last year, and that's Florida, who I think goes from maybe 4 to 8, and I think Auburn's in that same conversation.
And SEC fans are not known to be the most patient.
Or rational.
But you just mentioned that Florida, that Week 3 matchup, looking at that, the conversation is going to be buzzing, whoever loses that game. So between those 2 coaches, John Summerall and Alex Goldich, who do you think that's most important for them to walk away that game and win?
That's a tough question, and I'll go back to had a chance to be with Coach Goldich earlier. We're doing this great series on the new coaches in the leagues. Peter Burns and I am, as a partnership with Regions. And we went to his house, and the moving trucks are there. We're carrying boxes in with him. We're fishing out in the pond. And talking about of all the other coaches in the new coaches in the league, who's he closest with? He said probably Coach Summerall, and talked about their similar paths and relationship. And as we were leaving, he goes to tell your boy be ready for Week 3. So they're well aware of the schedule. I think it does mean a lot for me personally, as a guy that grew up in the SEC, going to Florida games as a kid. I love the rivalry between Florida and Auburn, and I hated that it went away. It was one of my favorite games. It is my favorite. Jordan-Hare was my favorite away stadium to go play in. So I'm glad this game is back. But the loser of it is definitely going to be under a lot of pressure with not a whole lot of margin for error with a lot of season left.
With the 9-game schedule now, as you mentioned, we've got Auburn, Florida this year. You only have to not see it for a year, and then you get it back to playing everyone every other year. Do you feel that is going to be able to rekindle some of these rivalries? Because Auburn and Florida meant something to a lot of people for a long time. Do you think the every other year model will be able to reinvigorate some of these?
It's interesting because I look right now at Florida LSU. That's a game that means a lot to me and Peter Burns for our SEC This Morning bet that those 2 teams won't meet this year. But I do think familiarity breeds contempt, and having maybe not every year for every team, but every other year will breed a little bit more rivalry. This year, Florida has Oklahoma coming to town, which will be kind of cool. So I do think in the SEC with 16 teams, you want to be able to play at every stadium and have every team come back and return that trip. So I think they're doing the best of the dynamic that exists. But I do miss the years of, at Florida, I think you look at rivals, Florida State's a big one, Georgia's a big one, Tennessee's a big one. For me, Auburn was always a big one, LSU. So being in the SEC, there's a lot of teams that I think you have history with, and being able to rotate through will kind of keep some of those rivalries a little more fresh.
What a lot of those teams, though, in that new format, do you think that's going to play into the SEC's favor with playoff committee?
I do not. I think that's what I hope everybody reevaluates is that, all losses are not considered to be equal, and fans need to recalibrate. Media needs to recalibrate, but certainly the college football playoff, is going to have to recalibrate. We didn't get a 10-2 Vandy team in last year. We didn't get a 9-3 Texas team that went and lost week 1 to the defending national champion on the road. So I think the committee hopefully needs to, understand what this grind is going to be like now with the SEC playing 9 conference games.
He is Chris Doering of the SEC Network joining us today. Chris, we certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All the best this week.
Appreciate you.
Look forward to your coverage this year.
Definitely. Thanks for having me on.
That is Chris Doering here on Radio Row, SEC Media Days 2026.
Looking for another way to listen to our show? Be sure to download the Tiger Communications app and listen to Sports Call wherever you go.
Weather brought to you by Auburn University Credit Union. Tiger Rewards checking at Auburn University Credit Union gives you the tools to manage your credit, monitor for fraud, telehealth services, loan discounts, and more. Visit myaucu.org for more details. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Today, we continue to see high temperatures, low to mid-90s. Heat index values able to creep up around 100. We will see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon hours, but about 30% of the area overall seeing any of that rain. Lows will be in the low to mid-70s for Tuesday. Again, very similar to the last several days. A few spots will get wet, but not everywhere. Highs again, low to mid-90s, and lows overnight into the mid-70s. I'm Ryan Lavoie for your Tiger Communications weather update.
Get ready for RibFest 2026 at Texas Roadhouse in Opelika. Starting June 24th and running through July 28th, we're celebrating our legendary fall-off-the-bone ribs and 250 years of American pride with fun events all summer long. Join us on June 29th for Kids Night and our coloring contest kickoff, where kids can win Texas Roadhouse prizes. Then, mark your calendar for July 13th and watch local competitors battle for the title of Rib-Eating Champion. Plus, enter to win a grill and Texas Roadhouse gift basket every time you visit during RibFest. And don't forget, order our rib and pork family packs for your 4th of July celebration. Texas Roadhouse Opelika, where summer tastes better with ribs.
Hey, slow it down for a second and make it a Stella moment. From catching up with friends to kicking back after a long day, every great night starts with the perfect pour. Because with Stella Artois, craftsmanship meets ritual, and the little details make every sip worth savoring. Take your time, pour it right, and raise a glass to the moment. Stella Artois, perfection served.
Looking for the perfect lunch or dinner? Make it easy and delicious with Honey Baked Ham. Enjoy savory crafted sandwiches like the Ham Classic, Barbecue Smoked Stacker, or the Tavern Club, as well as a variety of fresh, crisp, delicious salads. Every bite is a taste of quality at Honey Baked Ham Company. Whether it's a leisurely lunch or something quick for dinner, Honey Baked Ham has you covered. Stop by the Honey Baked Ham Company and get your ham on. Honey Baked Ham, located at 1451 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Ham bone, ham bone, ham bone.
At Cross Country Mortgage in Auburn, our loan officers don't just work here. We live here, support here, and serve here in Auburn. From expert loan guidance to neighborhood knowledge, we bring together everything you need to make home ownership happen.
TK's Convenience Stores, your gotta-have headquarters. You know, those things you just gotta have, but don't have time to waste in one of those huge pack stores. Nope, at TK's, we have your gotta-have items with no hassle, along with great customer service, high-quality items, and clean stores. So whether you need a six-pack of your favorite beverage, milk, gasoline, or some cash from the ATM, TK's has it just minutes from you. TK's Convenience Stores, now with 17 locations to better serve you. Always there when you need us.
I'm Britt Bowen, voice of Auburn women's basketball and Auburn softball. You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. This is the Monday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie, Tom Peavy, Jack Myrick coming to you live from Radio Row in Tampa, Florida. It is day number 1 of SEC Media Days. The main stuff is wrapped up, and that's part of being on Eastern Time.
Yeah.
I have so far won the battle against saying the incorrect time or the incorrect hour, because normally if we were at 6:19 local time,
right,
we are not in the studio anymore, and we are not on air anymore. But it's just 5:19 back home and 6:19 here in the East. But you just heard from Chris Doering of the SEC Network, again, the former Florida Gator. I thought that was good stuff. Jack asked a great question about what that Auburn-Florida game would mean week 3 to the fan bases and to the pressure. Because, again, I mean, you know, I think we have been, in our 7 and 8 win projections, very confident about that game. And we have not really discussed much of the possibility of losing it. But the national media and the national side of it is viewing that game as pretty close to a 50-50 game.
Yeah.
And if Auburn were to lose it at home, given what it will have in October, and given that John Summerall's name was linked, I mean, that will be maybe not long-term inauspicious, but inauspicious for the season, certainly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that Florida game could be the difference between 6 and 7 wins. I mean, that's the real possibility there. Yeah, that game is so vitally important, really for both teams, but, you know, since we're very Auburn-centric, we talk about just the importance it is for that Auburn team. Obviously, you need to start out with a win in week 1. That's a given. You should have no problem after that. But then that Florida game, that could either be that big stepping stone towards a big successful season, or it's one of those that's going to leave everybody scratching their head and wondering, you know, has Auburn done what they needed to do in the coaching search? I mean, that's where the questions are going to arise. So it's so vitally important in that game. And for Auburn's sake, the ball's in their court. You get it at night inside Jordan-Hare Stadium. I get it. That stadium has not been the most dangerous place to play of late because the teams have not been very good. But you're hoping that maybe that magic will come back and that this could be that win and that first really notch in the belt for Alex Golesh as Auburn's head coach.
The two narratives that will come out of that, if it goes one way or the other, a loss for Florida, they're saying that, well, we got, you know, Billy Napier all over again. We were having that situation. This is what this is going to be. We're just, you know, we're going to be back in this, you know, because the resumes are very similar.
Right.
And then for Auburn, it's going to be, you couldn't get the guy you wanted. That's what they're going to switch to. Like they're just that's just what's going to happen. That's just how media narrative fans are going to work towards. And I get people are always going to be impatient. Both guys are in, I would say, good situations, but also tough situations because those are both programs that have winning prestige in their past and can get back to that and be, you know, contenders in this conference. They just have to get back on the right track, and that's something that they just haven't been able to do the past 5 years. And so, yeah, for Auburn, if they lose this game, it definitely is going to, I think, have a very, very sour taste in a lot of fans' mouths, especially at home, as you mentioned, under the lights, in Jordan-Hare, is you'd expect that to just favor the Tigers. And so if Auburn just can't get that done starting off, you know, the alarms are going to start sounding to some people because I think it's very tiring because we talked about earlier with the Baylor game. You start last year off with a big win against Baylor. Offense looked phenomenal. Things were clicking. Everything was working. And then you go play your cupcake games, is what it was. And then you hit conference play, and it just wheels fell off. Just got ugly. Did not look good. And so I think it's just going to be a deja vu moment for a lot of people, and they're just not going to be very happy with that. But, again, it's going to be a very talked about game that week. It's going to be very discussed. The outcome is going to be always discussed throughout the season if things don't turn for the better for whoever the loser is of that game. So it's just a very intriguing week 3 to start the season for the SEC play.
There's two things that many Auburn fans are ready to explode about, and it's like it's right on the tip of their tongue. They're just not ready to say it, and that is Alex Golesh was not the right pick. And especially if it happens against Florida, you didn't get your right guy, and we've had to settle for this. And then also, they're just waiting for any reason to critique and just crash out on Byron Brown, and especially if the throwing motions thing, whether you say it's a big deal or not, that's what their fans that are like, if he doesn't have success, it's like, there it is. There it is. There it is. There's the throwing motion. We're right back in. We've got a quarterback that, we just can't rely on. And we didn't get the right coach. I mean, that's what so many Auburn fans have, like, right at the ready to go, chambered in, just ready to fire that gun off with those two things right there, if anything. And that's what I hope does not happen in the Florida game, that, those pessimistic Auburn fans that are just raring to be negative at any little thing, that Florida game is the one that they can just unload the barrel on everything they've been just anxiously waiting to spill their guts on.
I agree with that on Byron Brown. I don't on Alex Golesh. I think there's too much optimism. I do not think one loss, even if it's to Florida. I mean, some people nationally will say, ha-ha, because it was, it was down to Summerall for a long time and then it was not. I think some people locally will worry, and be like, oh, shucks. But I do not think that people will be like, oh, we're done. I think there's been enough optimism. I do think that it's going to take a little bit to earn the trust, but I also don't think that a loss in week 3, again, even though it would be incredibly disappointing, I don't think it would turn that many people around locally. I don't feel that way.
And not the mass, but we have people that call this show that it feels like they're forever on the edge of the cliff. Like they're
sure. And I understand that.
That's the thing, is there are those Auburn fans that are just perpetually hanging on that cliff.
And I understand that, but to be fair to them and with all due respect to them, they don't represent everybody.
Sure.
And that's just a small
segment
and
that's a good
of it
thing.
too.
That's a good thing.
And so, again, just talking with every all groups because you also have the social media group, and they think a completely different way than the people that call, and the people that don't do either think a different way. So again, you're trying to encompass everybody. I agree with you. Yeah, we're going to field calls. 100%.
Yeah.
That will be.
And honestly, the guy's job that would be in question if if the season doesn't go well for Alex Golesh in year 1 would be more John Cohen at that point.
Oh yeah.
Even though I think John Cohen has done a phenomenal job with the NIL building up collective for Auburn, where they can be in this opportunity to compete in across athletics, and now you see this offseason having a really nice recruiting class, and just. But at the end of the day, I know Auburn says it's an everything school, but Auburn at the core of it, football is always going to be the first love is always going to be that thing. So if that doesn't work out, that's the guy that's would have to be more worried than anything, because he's had to make that hire, and you just don't know how much patience they would have with him. But I think that he's done a great job. I really, as I mentioned, I think the collective has really done really well. A lot of the renovations he's done to One Plainsman Park was amazing.
Right.
Now he's doing a lot of additions to Jordan Hare and really expanding this to where Auburn can get to the point where they can be competitive. He's building up these revenue streams that can really benefit Auburn athletics.
All right, let's take our next timeout of the program today. On the other side of this break, we will hear from Rich Clark. He is of course, leader of the College Football Playoff Committee. We will talk to Rich Clark about the future of the playoff, the 12-team model versus others, how the SEC feels, and much more. This is the Monday edition of Sports Call, live from Tampa on Tiger 95.9.
Want to know how easy it is to listen to our show? All you have to do with your Amazon smart device is say, Alexa, play Sports Call Auburn.
Are you looking to buy or sell land in the Southeast? Southeastern Land Group is here for you. With over 20 years of experience, we specialize in farms, ranches, timberland, hunting properties, and recreational land. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a first-time buyer, our expert team offers personalized service every step of the way. From listing to closing, we make the process simple and smooth. Ready to make your move? Visit selandgroup.com and find your perfect piece of land today. Southeastern Land Group, your trusted partner in land sales.
Looking for a new fitness home? Look no further than Tiger Iron Gym in Auburn. Our fitness area spans over 20,000 square feet, providing ample space for all your workout needs. Featuring an AstroTurf training area, an extensive range of cardio equipment that will get your heart pumping, and we are one of the largest 24-hour free weight gyms in America. Worried about parking? Don't. We have you covered with tons of parking spaces so you can focus on your workout. And we are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to fit your busy schedule. Plus, we're locally owned and operated, not some big corporate gym. And you can experience all of this for just $29.99 a month with no contract. Join us today and take charge of your fitness goals. Tiger Iron Gym, South College Street in Auburn.
Keeping your money in a traditional savings account is like using the Yellow Pages instead of Google. Outdated and slow. Skip the small, slow returns and put your money to work with the Max Elevate Money Market. You get all the same security of a savings account, plus the ability to earn even more on your money. Get started at mymax.com/elevate or call us at 260-2600. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
AM radio provides always-on news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports. It also delivers vital emergency information when your community needs it most. A new bill in Congress would ensure AM radio stays in your car because when cell and internet services are down, this free emergency service is critical. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl has a challenge for you.
Be an MVP to a child in need by opening your heart, opening your home, and becoming a foster or adoptive parent in Alabama. I know so many folks that are. They tell me it's one of the greatest things they've ever done.
To learn more about becoming a foster or adoptive parent, visit dhr.alabama.gov. That's dhr.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and the station.
Follow Sports Call on Twitter at SportsCallAU. Like us on Facebook at SportsCallAU.
Welcome back to Sports Call here on Tiger 95.9. Ryan LeBoy, Brooks Childress with you here from Radio Row. It is SEC Media Days 2026, and we are now pleased to be joined by the Executive Director of the College Football Playoff, Rich Clark. Rich, the time is greatly appreciated. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. It's good to be back with you guys. Been almost a year maybe since I saw you last.
Probably so. Now, what's always interesting, Rich, is that I would love to hear from your perspective because we talk playoff and its format all the time. And I'm curious from your perspective, do you enjoy that the playoff is always such a huge topic of conversation, even when it's not actively happening, or would you like there to be an off-season to the conversation around formats and that sort of thing?
I love that we talk about it all the time. Now, I don't want people to get stressed about it or to get uptight about it, but it's good that people care about it and that college football is front and center in people's minds because they love it like I do. So I have no problem talking about it. Now, it is part of my job too, and I talk about it all the time with my team, with the management committee. The management committee is the 10 FBS commissioners and the Notre Dame athletic director. But it's a big topic, and it's an important thing for us. And it'll shape a lot of what happens in college football for years to come.
Before we look at all the topics surrounding the playoffs and everything this year, let's go back to last year. Indiana, first-time national championships.
Wow.
Look back at last year's playoff. What was your take on the entirety of the thing?
I thought it was spectacular. It just could. We are so blessed because it lined up in ways that we could have never imagined. Like Indiana, and that story of where they came from. They had a Heisman winner on the team with Mendoza. He was spectacular in the game. And then you had Miami kind of rising up from the depths, if you will, to almost to the top in their home stadium. It couldn't have been a better story. And then the game was just awesome. Came right down to the end. So the whole thing, and I don't just mean the championship game, but starting at the home games in the first round were amazing. And our bowl teams did a great job with the quarters and the semis. It was just really a great playoff, and my hat goes off to my team for what they did to put the games on, but mostly to the teams that played in those games, because they are the ones that everybody's there to watch, and they just all laid it on the field. They left it on the field, and we just had a great playoff.
As we sit here for SEC Media Days, we are talking about the conference that seems to be in less agreement with maybe the majority right now. It seems pretty clear, at least from the outside, that the other power leagues would really like some sort of expansion, and 16's been discussed, and 24, and maybe numbers that we're not even aware of. But with the SEC stance, I know we can't divulge great detail, but what can you tell us about maybe their concerns, or maybe what is the I don't want to say hold up, but what would be the next obstacle in trying to examine or trying to get to a different number than what
Sure. So I don't want to speak for Commissioner Sankey, but I'll just speak from what I see from him is that he's very deliberate and he's very thorough, and he does not want his conference agreeing to a decision that is not all the way thought through. And there's so many issues that people may not realize. You have scheduling issues. All right, that's a lot of football games that you have to put into a schedule that we don't want to be any longer than it already is. How do we do that? You have student health and safety, because you cram those games in, but you don't want to shrink the time in between games. You want students to be able to recover and to be healthy and to be able to play in the next game. You have revenue issues. If you do this, if you go to a bigger format, 24, let's say, you might have to do away with the championship games, the conference championship games. So, there's just a lot of issues out there that have to be thoroughly thought through. And what media, who's going to buy these games, and we don't know that yet, but that would be a question. What do the fans think? There's just a lot of things. And I know what he doesn't want to do, and I say this probably for not just him but all the commissioners, is make an uninformed decision. Be informed on everything that you know about, because there's always some things that you didn't expect, but you have to answer the things you do expect that are going to be issues. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to get the answers, but usually every time we get answers to the group, it drives 3 more questions, which is a good thing. They have to ask questions. That's what leaders do, and that's what they're doing here.
We saw this past season, because we are going to have a different formula in terms of if you're winning a power conference, you're going to be in now. And we saw that come to light last year when Duke won the ACC championship, but with 5 losses was not in the playoff. And look, for me, in my opinion on the outside, they lost to one of the teams that got in the group of 5 in Tulane. And that's a bunch of losses to accrue. But I'm sure from a power conference point of view, you win this conference, you're deserving bottom line. So what were those conversations like? And just because one of the things we keep talking about too is, okay, fine, it does not expand, but there's still conversation about who's participating in the 12 that we have. So where are we? What drove the change, and do you feel comfortable now after this change of making sure the Power 4 conferences are in, that if we were to stay at 12 for a while, this would be the type of participation you're looking for?
Yes, great question, Ryan. So that decision was actually made about 3 years ago to have it so that it's the automatic qualifiers are the conference champion from each of the Power Four conferences, plus the highest ranked G6 team. Not the highest champion ranked, but the highest ranked period G6 team. So that decision happened some time ago. So the decision to do that or to make that change wasn't really something that we had to go through this year. It was just automatic, you know. And I think the reason that it went that way was because of what we saw last year and how things transpired. But it also drove all of the conferences to rethink and just at least double check their tiebreaker situations of who's going to be in the championship games and what teams are going to actually be represented. So that was a big change, but it had been decided some time ago, and I think it'll be a good change as well. Another change that people aren't as aware of is the change for seeding in the playoffs. So the highest seeded team, the number one seeded team, will get to pick their quarterfinal and their semifinal game, and the number two team will then pick its quarterfinal game, and the number 3 team will then pick its quarterfinal game. So that's a change where the teams get to pick their path in the playoff, and that I think is going to be a good change and maybe an entertaining one to see how coaches think, how athletic directors and the institutions think about where they're going to play their games and win. So that'll be interesting.
College football playoff is such a great tournament format you guys got going on right now. Another great tournament that just wrapped up was the FIFA World Cup. I don't know how much of that you caught this summer.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. I got the fever.
And I just, following up on that, one of the biggest things, one of the big talking points was the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, was basically at every match. How many playoff games did you attend last year? And this year, could you pull some strings and see if you could get that same jet to get you to all the playoff games?
Okay, here's what's funny. I don't get a jet. I don't fly first class. I fly coach. So just for the record, I just want to make that clear because some of my bosses might be listening. But last year, of the 11 games, I went to 7.
Excellent.
So in the first round, I get to 2. I go to the Friday game, and then I get on a jet, and I get to one of the Saturday games. Same in the quarterfinal round. I get to 2 of the quarterfinals, 2 of the 4, and then I go to both semis and the champ game. So I got to 7 of the 11 games, and then I'm obviously got my phone on watching the games that I'm not at on the phone. So, but it's pretty cool, and my wife goes with me to all of them. She did it the first year. And I said, just try it. She was like, all 7? Ooh, that's kind of tough. But I'm in. And she did it the first year, and then she said, I'll never miss a game. I am in. Because it was like those home games were so amazing. And the quarters, that the way the bowls do things, it just brings it up to that, that tradition. And it was just too good.
Just like you caught the World Cup fever, she caught the college football fever.
She did.
Yeah.
She caught it, and she's got it. So now I take her to every game.
That's right.
So, Rich, let's evaluate where we're at in terms of the campus games and the bowls participating in the playoff too. Because another topic would be if you expand the playoff and have more games, have more inventory, you've got the optionality to go to more bowl games or go to more campus games. What has been the feedback on how that distribution has been and how the campus home games have gone?
So the decision hasn't been made yet as to what, if they would be more bowl games or more campus games. However, there is a high demand for more campus games. People like campus games. And so I wouldn't be surprised, and I think we are leaning to, if we expand, that it would be more campus games. But until we actually decide on what the format will be, that'll be like one of the sort of subsequent decisions that would need to be made. But I suspect that it would be more campus games because they're so good, and teams want more of those. So that would be a pretty good addition, I think.
We're still imagining a day where there's a huge rivalry game on someone's campus in a college football playoff.
Oh,
obviously,
yeah.
Unfortunately, Auburn has not been up to par for that conversation the last several years. But we do know Coach Malzahn joining the committee there. And I guess I'll ask you to close one question on that. Just when you're evaluating people to put on the playoff committee, kind of what goes into that process and what are you usually looking for there?
Yeah, so for the selection committee, the way the process goes is the conference commissioners nominate members. We vet them out. We see who they are. And they are all either former coaches, former players, former journalists, and then some former administrators, but people that have high football IQs, people of high integrity, and people that have a good reputation as quality football people, if you will. And the men and women that we get selected are really some incredible people. So they'll nominate them, we'll vet them to make sure that they still want to do it, and then the management committee will vote for them. And they'll vote and we'll select them. So every year, there's 13 people on the committee. So every year we swap out 4 or 5 people, thereabouts, and that's how it goes. So the whole process is a good process, but we get some really quality people, and they're from across the board. I mean, we get them from different conferences, different backgrounds, doing different things. And the most important part of all of this is that they come in with an open mind and that they hang their hats at the door. They don't bring their biases with them. If they came from whatever conference, that they come in ready to pick the best teams in college football, independent of where they come from and where their background might have taken them.
He is the executive director of the College Football Playoff, Rich Clark, with us today. Rich, we certainly appreciate the time. Good to see you again, and we look forward to seeing how it all plays out in the fall.
Thanks, Ryan. Brooks, it's great to see you guys, and thanks for what you do for college football.
That is Rich Clark, the executive director of the College Football Playoff, with us today on Sports Call.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Sports Call is on the air weekdays from 3 until 6 p.m.
If you are currently driving in a 4-door sedan, roll up the windows and turn up the radio.
We're Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show.
From the very beginning in 1907, Auburn Bank's mission has been to promote our community, see businesses flourish, and improve the livelihoods of local citizens. We have operated a simple and straightforward business model built on a foundation of sound business decisions and a caring response. Our local team stands ready to discuss your financial needs and goals. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC. Online at auburnbank.com.
Looking for your next great find? Go exploring at Mission Thrift. Every day brings something new, from books and name brand clothing to furniture, home decor, and so much more. You never know what treasures you'll uncover. And the best part? Every purchase supports a great cause. Find us at 2052 East University Drive in Auburn, right behind Zaxby's. Lifesavers Mission Thrift. Discover more, spend less.
Hey folks, dinner time just got a whole lot easier. Swing by Waldo's Chicken and Beer on South College Street and grab the family meal deal. We're talking a whole bucket of bird, plus those famous cheesy biscuits, fresh coleslaw, and 2 sides. Go creamy mac and cheese, collards, potato wedges, whatever feeds your flock. And hey, make it a Thursday thing. It's kids' night at Waldo's. Bring the family, hang on the patio, play a little golden tea, while the grown-ups kick back with a frozen Waldo Rita. Good food, happy kids, and a little time to relax. What more could you ask for? Waldo's Chicken and Beer, South College Street in Auburn.
Experience the power of performing arts at the Jay and Susie Googe Performing Arts Center at Auburn University. The Googe Center brings world-class artists and unforgettable performances to audiences across Auburn, the state of Alabama, and beyond. Curated experiences that inspire, enlighten, and unite our community. Support the arts at Auburn. Visit googecenter.auburn.edu to explore upcoming events and purchase your tickets today. The Jay and Susie Googe Performing Arts Center, located at 910 South College Street in Auburn, where the arts come alive.
Looking for your next great find? Go exploring at Mission Thrift. Every day brings something new, from books and name brand clothing to furniture, home decor, and so much more. You never know what treasures you'll uncover. And the best part, every purchase supports a great cause. Find us at 2052 East University Drive in Auburn, right behind Zaxby's. Lifesavers Mission Thrift. Discover more, spend less.
I'm Trevon Reed, former Auburn Tiger football player and national champion. You're listening to Sports Call on Tiger 95.9.
Welcome back. Final few minutes of the Monday edition of Sports Call, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app. Ryan Lavoie, Jack Myrick, and Tom Peavy with you here today. Our thanks to Rich Clark for joining the program a little bit earlier, talking all things playoff, and had a good, thorough discussion there. We mentioned even at the beginning, the SEC is kind of in a way the one that's holding it up. Again, I'm not complaining about that, but it's just kind of a matter of fact. The other conferences seem to be in much more agreement of at least expanding to 16, the Big Ten. Maybe others want to go to 24, and the SEC's like, we need to think about it more, and maybe 16's okay, but we definitely don't like the 24 number. So appreciate Rich Clark for joining us there. Again, just a couple minutes left in the program, so we won't really have a best and worst of the weekend today. Things we did not really get to, there's a quote from Will Stein out there, which is pretty funny or pretty interesting. He was asked today, what would make Kentucky successful? And I'm kind of paraphrasing, but he essentially said, me. He said, honestly, it would be me.
Yeah.
A little bit of a call, not exact callback, but reminder of the way Kurt Cignetti came in confidently to his role in Indiana. Right. I think that Will Stein will not be Kurt Cignetti, but optimism in Lexington will be good.
Right.
And then also Josh Heupel of Tennessee today was asked a little bit about Alex Golesh, and he just had nothing but positive things to say about Alex Golesh and some of the members of his staff that have worked under Heupel before, and wishing him well and thinking that Golesh is very task-oriented and puts his mind to it, is going to do a good job. So Auburn being mentioned a little bit there, and obviously Will Stein maybe with the quote of the day otherwise.
Eli Drinkwitz speaking on Gus Malzahn, being a part of now that playoff committee, and saying that, hey, he's probably going to get the itch again. That's what he's saying, to get back into coaching after seeing all that, and talking about, hey, he's going to. And Drinkwitz, was talking about, hey, I'm going to be the first one, supporting that campaign for him to get a head coaching job.
Yep. So, again, a little bit of Auburn flavor there. Again, tomorrow will be Auburn Day. Obviously, Georgia and others will join. Georgia and Auburn will be the morning session. Georgia up first, Auburn second. Again, we're hoping to be joined by multiple Auburn players at the very least tomorrow, but we'll see what we can accomplish. And the interviews keep coming. We've already stored one that we did today that did not air. And, again, this will be a good time to remind you that Friday we will not be having a live show. We'll be traveling back from Tampa. And so most of it will still be new, we believe, because we're going to be trying to accrue so many interviews that many of them will be playing for the first time on Friday. And we might even pre-record an intro and an outro to that show. But we will not be live on Friday. So we've got these 4 shows live. Again, you can join us on Facebook or YouTube at SportsCall Auburn and join us visually. Or, of course, listen to us, as always, Tiger 95.9, the Tiger.fm, and the Tiger Communications app, and after the fact on the Sports Call podcast. So never more ways than now to consume Auburn's first and Auburn's favorite sports talk show. And, again, big shout-out again to Jared Dillard for helping us with that. And I'll go ahead and shout out J.J. Jackson and Brooks Childress for doing some editing work and some other things for us behind the scenes today. So really great stuff there. So, again, takes the whole team. We certainly have a great one and very happy to be here in Tampa, Florida for SEC Media Days 2026. One more time, I want to thank the sponsors today, Miller Lite, United Auto Collision and Opelika, Auburn Repro Graphics, Fairway Auto Brokers, and Waldo's Chicken and Beer for helping us along this ride and helping make it possible that we be back out here for yet another year of SEC Media Days 2026. But that is going to do it for us here in show number 1 and day number 1 of SEC Media Days 2026 in Tampa. Jack Myrick, thank you for being here today. We will see you again later this week.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
And Tom Peavy, thank you for being here today as well. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Yeah, bright and early tomorrow. Looking forward to it.
Indeed. Again, a big shout out to Connor Knight back in our Auburn Bank studios for running the show for us back there today. And as always, we appreciate all those that tuned in and called in. Another thank you to David Epps of the Peach Bowl, Mr. College Football Tony Barnhart, Chris Doring of the SEC Network, and Rich Clark of the College Football Playoff. So for Brooks Childers, J.J. Jackson, Jared Dillard, Jack Myrick, and Tom Peavy, my name is Ryan Lavoie. Have a great rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.
When it comes to important money matters, you matter most.